What's up, everybody? It's Brandon and Rodney, and Josh and Tyler are not with us. Josh is doing some war stuff, and
what is a good for?
Absolutely nothing. Yeah, and Tyler's back is all shot to shit. Don't know what's going on with that, other than the fact that he had surgery and he seems to be doing fine. He wished us luck. This is the first episode Tyler's missed. He missed number 40. Jesus. So now I'm the only person that has been on every episode, which I figured would happen eventually since this takes place at my house. But guess what? There's a valid excuse for not being here. You know, Rodney, on the other hand, and Josh, they're idiots. No, I'm just playing. They're cool peeps. But this is episode 40, if I haven't said that already. We have the Rambo movies as they're kind of casually lined up. 40 episodes, people.
Oh, hell yeah, we're doing
Jesus
Rambo tonight?
Jesus Christ. Yes, Rambo. I
Sweet.
see you brought your 4 notes, as you told me.
Yep.
Yeah, and I think it's time. We're going to try to not knock these over with our cord. That's why these are kind of spaced out. But, yeah, 5 Rambo movies, and it's just me and Rod Dizzle.
That's right.
Do you still want me to call you that?
Yeah, you can call me
told me
Rod,
before
Rod
the show
Dizzle.
that you wanted me to call you that.
Yeah, Rod Dizzle. Yeah, I'm trying to get, my artist name out.
Okay.
I'm an artist. I paint and I sell, my pictures that I draw. So
that's a good name for an artist.
Yeah.
Anyways, without further ado, I sing on the side. That's my thing.
First
Blood.
Blood.
Damn, see, we're going to be good together as a 2-0. a
Yes,
2-0 right
2-0.
here. This 2-0 right here. We're finishing each other's sentences already. It's amazing. You're going to have to talk this week, Rodney. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay, how ready are you? First
He did
Blood.
nothing wrong.
He didn't do anything wrong.
He did nothing wrong at all.
You know what? I actually had this conversation with my boss. We were like, what's your favorite movie? And he just turned around. He was like, it's never over. He was just like, Rambo, he did nothing wrong.
Yeah,
And that's
real.
literally what he told me. I asked him this like months back, and he happened to call me because we've been having a lot of snowstorms out here. It's like, hey, man, like, you coming in? I was like, no, I'm watching Rambo. And he's just like, oh, well,
I can understand
Well,
that.
wait a minute. Is that one of your favorite movies? Said something like that. Brian's an okay guy. Gets a little flustered from time to time. He's okay.
But yeah, a little, like, I haven't watched the first 3. It's been years since I've watched the first 3. I got stuck on 4 watching it, and then, the newer one. So it was actually kind of cool to watch them again, especially in 4K.
Oh, yeah. Compliments of
Beautiful,
Susan,
by the way.
Sir Brandon. That's what they call me on the streets, Sir Brandon.
The blood, even the dark tones from the movies that took place at night is more visible with the 4K than like with the like the Blu-ray even. Like the picture quality on these were
they're great.
They were incredible.
The sound quality is dope too.
Yeah,
when the
like
shit
they
goes
actually took their
down, you're like,
time.
I might have to turn this down a bit.
Yeah.
And I love these movies so much, or do I? God, am I revealing something? I don't give a shit. That I really was thinking about getting that. I think I told you about it. You've seen it? That like 5. It's
the
all
steel
5
book?
of them on the steelbook with the
Yeah.
cover art. I'm like, I just bought all these.
It's
Damn
so
it.
beautiful. Dude, that steelbook is awesome
Yeah,
too.
I almost might have to do it, but it's going to be the same 4K. It's just repackaged. So is it worth it? Maybe.
Yeah. Give us a couple months.
Yeah. And let's talk about old John's pain from the jump. He just kind of looks like a drifter, which he is. He's lost. He kind of looks that way. He even looks lost. He's just kind of like wandering the fuck around everywhere.
Minding his own.
Yeah. And you can legitimately feel John's pain when it's revealed that Delmar is dead, his buddy.
Yeah.
And when you rewatch the movie, I'll touch on this a little later, it hits home like a motherfucker. Like, I think back on something that happens at the end of the movie, and I think back at this scene. I thought that was amazing. We meet Sergeant Sack of Shit. Clearly thinks he's better than John. He just pulls up on him like, what's up, bruh? Like, how you doing? Like, that's not exactly how he put it, as you probably know, because you've probably seen Rambo, right? If not, I'm sorry for admitting Delmar was dead. Okay, he's not that important. Only he is, but he's not a main character in the movie. But Sergeant Sack of Shit is a real piece of shit, bro. Like, I cannot stand this dude. He just picks and he's like, you got anything to eat? He's just asking him, where to go. And he's like, yeah, you probably wouldn't even like it here. And I'm always like, how the fuck do you know if he'd like it here or not? Who the fuck are you? and he just drops them out, dude.
He says, yeah, there's a diner about 30 miles north of here.
Yeah,
it's like, what?
And he thinks he's smart. He's like being nice too. He like takes them back across the bridge. He's like, hey, I'll even give you a lift. Like, oh, thanks, buddy.
To an abandoned area, what it looked like.
And I love how as soon as Sergeant Sack of Shit drives him back across the bridge, he immediately just like puts his collar up, starts walking right the back across. Even's like smiling, like, I took care of this. Like, are you fucking? Whips it back around because he sees him in the rearview mirror. He's like, hey, I'm talking to you. Hey, like badgering him again. It's like, dude, fuck off, man.
Like, do you know who this is?
Mm-hmm. I mean,
I will
dude,
gut you.
Yeah, like, fuck off. He's over here talking about, like, his knife. He's pulling his knife out and shit. I wanted him to deck him, like, right away.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But that's when you know you got a great villain on your hands. When
Brian
you got a
Dennehy
villain where you want to
soul.
just beat somebody down because of the way they're playing a character, or you hate that character.
He's a strange villain, though, man. Because what's weird is I feel like he is a piece of shit, but I feel like I get the vibe that like everybody in that town probably loves him. Like he seems like he'd be a genuinely good guy to like his flock, but outside of that, he's a piece of shit. I don't know why. There's nothing that really paints me in that direction, but I feel like almost 100% sure, like if it showed him interacting with people in town, they'd be like, oh, hey, Sergeant, whatever the fuck his name is, and he'd be like, oh, hey, how you doing? And they'd be like, you need some help pulling your car out of the mud? Like, I feel like he'd be like that guy, but yet he pulls off the evil side to him. They do a weird, I don't know how they pull it off, but they really, at least for me, paint that picture in my head that he's a good guy outside of this, but if you're not in his flock, bro, he's not giving you the fucking time of day. I don't know if you got that vibe, too.
He means well for sure, because everybody was saying hi to him. He was saying, on a first name basis with everybody.
Shit. It's little subtle things.
Yeah, so he means well, but he's just I think what it is
stubborn too.
He doesn't want his authority like messed with, and with an outsider, you're automatically, I guess he was assuming, well, he's going to test my authority, so I'm going to go on and be the asshole. But it turns out being the asshole like that is not the way to go.
He's like, respect my authority.
Yeah.
Yeah, like like it just kind of seemed like we got a great thing going here. I'm not disrupting in any way, and I'm not afraid to be that guy if I gotta be. And then you meet Deputy Dickhead. Deputy Dickhead is even worse than Sergeant Sack of Shit. This dude is somehow worse.
Are you talking about
Galt?
Deputy Dickhead is the one that hit him?
Yeah, Deputy Galt. His name's Art Galt.
The older guy with the mustache,
yeah,
right?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, that dude's even worse.
Yeah, I didn't think he would be, because he came off as real cool at first.
Yeah.
Like, at first you're like, oh, okay, someone's going to give him a break. And then, nah, he was just like, I'm going to buck up to you real quick. And then you, of course, you got the rookie.
Yeah. You talking about red hair dude?
Yeah.
Yeah, he seemed cool, but he also seemed out of the loop, too.
Well,
so,
he was
he
scared.
probably developed that
He
shit,
was definitely scared, because it is a small town. And, if this would have, turned out bad like it did, then he would, I don't know, he's like, okay, so I'm gonna let them do their thing, I'm not gonna intervene, and then when shit pops off, I can be like, look, I did nothing wrong, they were bullying him and shit. So
yeah, he might have been trying to get some clout that way.
Yeah, I think he was just scared.
Yeah, and I love how Rambo's just not putting up with any of their shit.
Do they try to fingerprint him?
Yeah, he's like, nope. Like, it's almost like messing with a kid. Like, just listen. Like, he wasn't putting up with any of that shit, dude. And then you get a little taste of what John's been through, dude, because you see all the scars on John when they take this shit off, dude. And you can tell he's been through some shit right then and there, dude. And then when they go to shave him, oh, my God. Instant PSD. Immediately.
PTSD.
That's what I meant to say. I left out the T, whatever. No, dude. This is PSD. It's even worse.
Even worse.
Yeah. Pissed, succumbing to disbelief. I don't know. I'm just making shit up now. But yeah, PTSD, dude. Instantly. Like, he's over there like, you're just like, shit. Because it's so easy. You're like, it's Rambo. I know everything he's been through. But you put yourself there day one. You're still trying to figure out this character. If you watch it kind of behind that lens where you're just like, oh, man, this dude's scarred up. And you're like, oh, man, because he seems so nice in the beginning. You don't picture him to have went through all this shit. And then next thing you know, you're like, holy shit, he's having flashbacks about getting his throat cut. This dude's seriously wounded. Not here. he can get over that, but here he's done. He's mentally fucking done, dude.
Man, he don't even care. See, we got 5 movies here, all made because one sheriff wanted to be an asshole.
Damn, Brian
He had to.
Dennehy.
Sylvester or Rambo had to go through 5 different times nonsense because the sheriff wanted to be a dick.
Had to kick it off, dude.
Poor guy.
That fucking bastard, dude. He has no idea, like, the ramifications of his actions, does he?
Not
what
at all.
a bitch. And then, of course, Rambo, after getting hosed down.
Oh, my God.
And he's like one dude, Galt, was like, get the hose out. Like, me personally, I might have been like, oh, shit, they got some hose up in here? No, not that kind, bro. He's bringing the squirter, bro. He fucking lit him up with that water. And then next thing you know, Rambo's just done. Still not putting up with shit. He's getting the fuck out of there, dude.
Yeah.
And it was a pretty daring, cool escape. And you know, the last guy he fucking hit, he does like a sliding trip, and he elbows dude right in the nose. That dude actually broke his nose in that moment. Yeah, that's like a behind-the-scenes thing. He fucking cracked his nose, and it was done right there.
Sliding trip was kind of it was kind of corny, but it's still awesome,
dude,
though.
It worked, though.
It's still awesome. What was it? What do we got here? The first one was 82.
Yeah,
so yeah, that's
I'd
really
say so.
Not too bad.
Yeah, man. And here's the thing, dude. He's on the motorcycle. He's over here like doing this. The guy's probably like, "What the fuck?" And he throws him off. Like, how well do you think you'd fare, in like doing what Rambo did to escape? Do you think you could have done any of this?
I think I would have got scared halfway out.
Yeah, I'd be like, you know what? I'm turning around and you get shot. Right?
Because
at that point, you got to go.
I would have got in my head about, okay, so if this doesn't work out, then I'm doing even more time. And then if I fight him back, then that's even more time. And I just talkked myself out of it is what would have happened.
Yeah, well, it sounds like you just wouldn't do it to begin with at that point.
Yeah.
I'm talking about if you're in the thick of the shit, dude, and you're on the run.
I don't know, but they're treating me like that. If
you
I'm the
think you could do that?
badass like Rambo was, probably.
Yeah, it's weird. It's a weird like, dynamic going on there. Yeah, dude. Rambo is just he's insane, but in the best ways. Like I can't even really explain it. He's so likable. Like Stallone has such a weird, genuine quality that makes you just cling to his characters, and Rambo's nothing short of that. And this dude, even after throwing a dude off a motorcycle, not really knowing him, you're like, fuck it, man. He didn't do shit in this situation. I'm behind this guy. And he leads him on a chase through the woods and all that fucking nonsense.
Then we get to the woods, the mountain.
Yeah, dude. And it's cold as shit out. He's up there fucking fastening up shit, getting his own little outfit on, figuring his shit out, you know, putting them survival skills to the test and really nailing those down. And then what happens with the cliff situation? That is a fucking tall-ass cliff that he's looking at and he's thinking about jumping off of into the water.
Oh, yes.
He decides to go crawl down it.
Yeah, with the sniper shooting at him at the same time from a helicopter.
Yeah, and I think this is where they got the idea for cliffhanger. It's got to be. He was already testing it out. No, but he's sitting there crawling down this. There's even a point where he's like, it kind of comes down like a slope where he's like, oh, he slides and then he catches, and it does that like far away shot, and it's like he looks like a speck on the side. It's like, dude, I want no thoughts of falling from that, but I feel like just clinging to the side of that would almost be just as bad. Like, that sounds so horrifying.
It sounds scary. Seeing it was kind of scary. Like, just being on a cliffside, getting shot at by a sniper, and then having the helicopter at that, too, because you got to think about that drip
like,
from the blades.
Yeah, he's over there shooting at him.
God bless.
He's fucking...
But, yeah, he jumped, though. He did it.
But I just can't... Like, if somebody could somehow safely put you on a lift or something, and they got a gun to your head, and they're like, get up there and hang on to it, and they pull the lift away, and you're just stuck there. And you're like, the only way you live is if you climb to the top. Can you imagine the fear that would be in you?
Oh, it would be very, very high amount of fear.
There'd be nothing you could do. And old Art Galt up there, just shooting at him. What is he thinking?
Because he's an ass.
Oh my God, dude. He falls, breaks every bone in his body. Should have at least on the way down. He did get his arm or whatever. And he did, like, I'm just sitting here thinking about this movie, and I'm like, bro, like you said, it's hard, and it's hard not to bear repeating. He did nothing. What is
for
this?
real. Like, this man is in the woods like, I didn't do shit. And now I'm in the woods hiding from all the force. Like, it makes...
Oh, my God. And then,
guy.
of course, he chucks the stone or whatever. You know, Galt was already like, keep it steady. He's over there doing that. And he free falls to his death. And I got to tell you, Galt deserved every bit of what the fuck
and
he
it looked
got.
like it sucked, too. Because it was on rocks.
And he even screams like, ah! He did a swanton bomb a la Jeff Hardy. Yeah, that happened. I mean, God.
It was awful, dude. But he deserved it. He deserved every bit of it.
Yeah, it's also just like, I mean, he comes out and he's just like, I didn't do anything. He's even like talking to him from the bottom because they're like a million feet up, it seems like. He's basically saying like, there'll be like, I'm not trying to shed any blood.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not doing anything. Like,
I don't want to hurt anybody.
And they're still like, you're like, hold your fire, but they're fucking shooting him. He's like, and then he leaves. And one thing I loved the sheriff's face when it was revealed who they were messing with.
Yes.
Yeah, when it was just kind of like
one of the greatest hype ups.
Yeah,
like
like
in movie history.
But yet he's too what? He's still too stubborn. He's like, we're getting our guy.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, he looked scared to death. He was scared to death of who he was dealing with, and he was still like, well,
yeah,
we can do this.
Yeah.
It's like, no, you can't.
And he should be, because it cuts to fucking Rambo like carving sticks and shit. You're like, and now you're also letting like, oh, this dude was this legit. That explains the scars. They're kind of peeling everything back, letting you have a peek behind the curtain on what this dude's capable of. And then when it immediately cuts them carving sticks, you're like, I don't know what he's doing with these, but he's about to fuck some shit up. This is getting legit up in here, dude. He's over here clinging to mountains, jumping into trees. He ain't murdered nobody, but it's becoming clear he's got the capabilities, but he's not choosing to. Or at least you kind of get a hint of that. Yeah, dude.
It's intense out there too, like, because most of the time he's out there is like at night.
Mm-hmm.
So up until the next day, or what, of course, but a lot of it takes place at night. You know, getting the fire started, and then the walkie-talkie, you know, all that, which was kind of sentimental, or not sentimental, but like intimate, like that. Whenever he, what was it, Code to Raven? What was he though? Something to Raven, because Rambo was Raven, and he was. See, you know, Tyler or Josh would have had this written out.
Maybe.
And they would have been like, yeah, it's a Tango to Raven, or whatever it is.
Yeah, maybe. I was going to say, too, though, they fucking know. They know. Right? I was going to say, which I know probably any other time, but fuck it, right? The thing is, too, dude, is like, at what point, if you're those cops, do you just say, man, fuck all this? It ain't even worth it. Like, this is getting real. Like,
I don't know, because
they
at
hadn't
first,
really seen
if
just
the
what
cops
he
don't
could
know
do
who
yet.
he is, yeah.
But
so,
they're hearing on the fucking radio,
well,
and even the red hair dude's like, hey man, like Green Beret or whatever, like, or Medal of Honor winner, what, like, that's some serious shit. You know what we're getting into. It was a calm for the storm, and they might not have seen what he was about to do, but they're over there like.
If I'd have heard that
They
shit
knew it was
that
gonna
he
get
was
steep.
saying over the radio, I'd have been gone. There's no way I'm dealing with that. I don't care how many people there are around.
And then he sets the traps, and people are getting fucked
Man.
up left and right. I love the shot of him like in the top of the tree above the one cop when he like pounces on him.
Yes,
That's
yeah.
fucking dope. How
yeah.
they're just kind of walking. You're like, where? You're even like, where's he at? And you're kind of out of nowhere spot him because he's kind of camouflaged. He just jumps on him. Like right there, I was like, oh shit. Can you imagine that? Because you're already freaking the fuck out. You're not thinking above, and you just get tackled. Like, I feel like everybody's kind of felt that weird feeling of something heavy, like, coming down on them, and they kind of collapse. But if you're like, where's he at? And you're just like, you feel that initial, like, thrust, and you're going down because that's a lot of
And then
body
you're
weight.
like, why didn't I look up?
Yeah, and you're also like, I know exactly. It's fucking Rambo. No, he's gonna kill me.
I didn't want to die today.
Like, that's either a Rambo or a Bobcat, and I think I might rather be the Bobcat. And then, of course, you know, everybody's getting fucked up left and right. And I love what he fucking says to Sheriff Teasel, dude, where he's like, I could have killed all of them. And he's fucking sitting there with a knife against his throat against the tree. And he's like, call it off. call it
Yeah.
off. I could have killed all of them. Like, you want a war? Like, you're going to have a war out here. I'll give you a war you can't handle. And that shit, he's like, call it off. Like, and he's just fucking gritting his. I was like, yes, this is fucking dope.
That's
dude.
where you first see like Rambo's rage side to him.
I mean, dude. And which brings me to my next point.
Let's
Like,
hear it.
I used to think when I watched this for whatever reason, like when I was a little kid and I watched it like my grandpa's house or something, that he was murdering like everybody. I don't know why, but like when I first, like I always liked the Rambo movies, but when you're like elementary school and shit like that, movies kind of just go by. You might not even be able to be paying attention to them very closely. Maybe you're watching like the fucked up scenes if you can find them because you're like, I shouldn't be watching this. This is cool. But when I bought them again, I remember I bought them in like a DVD trilogy pack, and I was like, I haven't seen the Rambo movies in a long time. I was like in 6th grade or something. So fresh out of elementary, maybe 7th at most. And I was like, man, I gotta watch these movies. And when I watched Rambo, the first one again, in my mind, I was going into it like, he's about to kill all these fucking cops. Like, that's where my brain was. But then I watch it, and I'm like, this motherfucker don't kill anybody in this movie.
Yeah, he just
damn
knocks
near.
them out,
Yeah,
most
just
of them.
about. And that's like the whole point of the movie. So like, it was kind of lost on me where I was like, what the fuck? Like,
He
what was I
kills-
thinking?
He has one kill, I think, isn't it? Just one in this.
I'm trying to think. I mean, he knocks Galt out of the helicopter, and that all that. I mean, the point is, he doesn't really do shit to anybody unless he has to, and he still isn't pressing the envelope here. And it's just weird. I didn't know if maybe you or any of the other people, like, when I first thought about Rambo, when I first watched it, not necessarily when I was older because I was so young when I rewatched it again, but when I separated it from when I was a little kid to where maybe I was just coming into adulthood or thought I was an adult in middle school, it was like, does nobody die in this fucking movie? I thought Rambo fucked everybody up. And I think at the time, the first one kind of went by the wayside to me because I was like, he didn't even kill nobody. This is stupid. But now that I'm older, I love the fact that he did that because that's what makes the first one stand out. It's more, there's a more humane aspect to it, dude. And something that always pisses me off too is the news anchor, dude. This is like, I think exactly what he said. He's like, 6 cops wounded. Only their police training saved their lives. I'm just like, man, fuck you, dude. I'm always like talking about, I'm like, you don't know, bro. You don't know what you're talking about.
Rambo saved them.
Yeah, like he could have finished them bitches. Like their police training got him out. Like, yeah, sure.
Not even close.
Yeah, I didn't know if you caught on to that too. And then in comes Troutman, which I love the Troutman character, dude.
Troutman's a great character.
Yeah, and I love how like Dennehy's character Teasel's just sitting there like, oh, thanks for coming out. No. And then Troutman's just like, I didn't come out here to save Rambo from you. I came out here to save you from Rambo.
Right.
And that like kind of
Yes.
came over his face like, what do you think?
Yeah.
Like that
He's
was
like, oh shit.
yeah, that was some good
So
shit.
you're here to explain all the scars and all that. All right. Let's
yeah,
hear it.
dude. And he only adds to the mystique of the character
Yep.
by like just rambling on about how badass he is over
Dude,
and
and
over
it's so good too.
Yeah,
like the
it's
way
great.
he's doing it, you're just like, oh shit.
Because he seems legit, and a big reason why he seems legit is because he is legit. Like
Yeah.
the guy that played Troutman was actually in the military and all that.
Oh really?
Yeah. So they got a legit dude with that.
It's kind of like with Full Metal Jacket.
Mm-hmm. And another thing is, you're talking about Arlie Ermy. But
Yeah.
another thing, another RIP. I think Troutman's dead too. Just RIPs all
I
around.
think so.
Yeah. And then you have just it's wild how like one man literally can beat us in such a rut, but only one person like Troutman, the guy that used to give him orders, can pull him out of it.
Mhm.
Like for you to be like that cracked mentally, where you're in it that deep, and that really showcased it because you could tell he wasn't answering that little walkie-talkie.
Oh, he had no intentions of it.
for
He just
anybody.
wanted to hear him.
And even then, like after Troutman talked, he was kind of like, no.
Well, I think that was
then it
memories
was-
kicking in his head. He was like,
Yeah.
oh, I know this voice.
Mhm.
It's like, oh, it's not Adrian.
Yeah, dude. And then, of course, he's in the cave. You have the grouping of whatever the fuck they are, soldiers, police, that have the rocket launcher.
Oh, dude. Yeah, idiots. A
Yeah.
bunch of idiots.
I love how, like, sure those rocket launcher douches were that they got them. Like,
Yeah, blew up one little area, and it was like, victory is ours, you know. Rambo's in there like figuring out how, because he knows that there's a way out, obviously. But everybody's out there celebrating, having a good old time. After they just had a huge firefight with one person at a cave, and they didn't do anything. Like they're useless. All of them were.
Yeah, they even looked like it was like their first day on the job.
Yeah.
They just didn't look prepared at
Well,
all.
wasn't one of them the pharmacist or something in the town? He's like, I gotta get back to the pharmacy. I can't be out here all night.
It was something like
He's like, you stay out here until he is found. It's like, what? You're hiring pharmacists and
all hands on deck.
Yeah, for real.
Get them all. Like Susan, the town's grandma. How you doing?
We're gonna give her the rocket launcher.
Yeah, dude. That was weird. I just kind of like looked to the right and I'm thinking about it and I made eye contact with Rambo because I have those down there. I wasn't even looking at it. Yeah. One thing that always kind of surprised me, it's more of a personal thing. I was always kind of like confused why he was so like scared of the rats. It kind of like made
that don't make sense to me at all.
Yeah, like it kind of makes sense because like just because he's such a badass doesn't mean he wouldn't be afraid of rats. And also, it's kind of
but
like
he freaked out over the rats.
Yeah, but it's also kind of funny that he's like not afraid of anything, or at least he just puts on like he isn't, like he doesn't like scream. But then like when those rats are, he's like ah, like he lost his shit. It's like, dude, if you want to get Rambo, bro, they should have sent like just like cannons, like those T-shirt cannons, just fucking shooting.
Just
heaves of rats at him. He's like,
the New York style rats too. They're like 2 feet.
We gotta make this fucking movie now. Let's just have somebody play Rambo. Dude.
Rats versus Rambo.
And we just shoot him at him like, this is how you handle Rambo. And when he's on the ground, just walk up.
Shit, Master Splinter versus Rambo.
Oh, dude, he'd be fucked. What would he do?
Oh, he wouldn't be able to do shit. He's it. It's a rat. It's Master Splinter too.
Yeah, dude. And imagine how relieved he did feel though when he found like a way out of that like secret cavern, dude. Because when it started getting like tight when he found those rats, I'd be freaking out. I'm like, is this coming to like an end? Like I'm just gonna I can't fit anymore, or I gotta go in the water. Like,
all at the same time, hoping there's no spiders too, right?
Oh my God! God forbid. He's like, it's spiders. He just sits there and dies because of that, dude.
That would be awful. But yeah, so then he gets out, but not before Troutman is telling Officer Douche that he's like, oh, you think he's dead, pretty much.
Yeah.
Or well, he doesn't say it to him. The sheriff was celebrating, is what it was. And then Troutman just kind of looked up and smiled, like, yeah, you think he's
know
dead,
what's going on,
but
here.
he's not. He's not.
And I love his reaction too. It's like you can't really see it really well because it's like at the back, and you see the dude walk over to the office where he's like, Teasel, he's still alive, but you kind of see him like droop like in his office from a different distance, like.
And see, at this point, there is no shaking hands and bygones be bygones.
No. And I love how Rambo, dude, he jumps on one dude's car and like or that little army truck. He's like, "What do you got back there?" He's talking. He's like, "Whatever. What the fuck? Not M16s, whatever the fuck they are."
Oh, was it the M14s?
I think so. Whatever that gun's called, where you're holding like yeah, that fucking shit was in there. He's over there talking. He's like, "Well, don't look at me. Look at the road. That's how accidents happen." All that. Like, I kind of like that just because he was so like uptight the whole movie.
And then human
Yeah,
right there.
and that like for him to have that mind, like, don't look at me, look at the road. That's how accidents happen. Like, that was just like, okay, like he's not completely rigid. Like if somebody actually got to know this motherfucker, he'd probably be like a great, cool guy. He's like, all right, time to go. Like, what do you mean? He's like, go home. Pushes him out. And I love how Rambo wasn't quiet about coming into town either. Like he came in immediately, like blew up the fucking gas station. Shit was exploding
he was done. Like,
everywhere. He was like, "I'm here, motherfucker." There wasn't no like, "I'm gonna sneak in and figure out I'm challenging you bitches, and you're gonna fucking know about it." Guess what? And he don't know that they know that he's alive yet necessarily either. So he's over there fucking like, This is gonna be a rude awakening right here, dude. Y'all about to know in this bitch.
And he did. He heard them all. Well, that's where the killing started happening with him. That's when he actually started killing.
Yeah, and the thing is, dude, if I said the cops needed to go home, at one point they need to go home. At this point, Teasel should even know, even with his stubborn ass, like, all right, time for me to go home.
Yes.
But at the same time, what do you do there? Like, a dude comes in, blows up your town, and you're just like, all right, dude, have at it. Like, you got to call in the SWAT or something, bro, because it ain't working. But then again, how crazy do you sound? Like, there's one guy.
Yeah, no.
So there's like some pride there too, where you're like, I'm not gonna call in everybody. Like,
but in this reality that I'm in, if I were to hear something like that over the radio, I'd be scared to death because of movies, because I've seen it so many times. Where I'm just like, nope, I'm out.
Maybe Teasel don't watch enough movies, dog. And even though he's inside of a movie, oh my god.
Oh, fourth wall.
5th, 6th, 7th, brother. Yeah, and you think, there would be more of a standoff with him and Teasel.
I love the way it went down.
And I was younger. I was like, they should have had a shootout. Adult me is like, yes. It's just kind of like a quick little thing, and then you get to the crux of what the movie's about. You kind of lose it in the sequels, mainly 2 and 3, where it feels like Rambo should be all-out action. Like, you're watching a Rambo movie, the end of it should be a full-on, maybe even bloodbath, just a shootout. But the first one, what the original intent of the character was, what he was, it was never really about the shoot 'em up shit that it became in 2 and 3. It was about a man dealing with PTSD and the struggles and the fact that he had his moment with Troutman real quick on the roof, bam, 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 through like the legs and shit. And then out of nowhere, you get Troutman coming in. He's asking him, what's going on, Rambo? Like, you can't get out. Like, this, we're surrounded, all this shit. And that last emotional moment, speech,
that monologue that
dude,
Sylvester pulls
is is amazing. That's one of I can honestly say, I don't think we're doing a top on that. That's one of my favorite scenes in any movie. Like, if anybody ever is just like, Stallone can't act, this is numero uno where I'm pointing them. Yeah. Because it is fucking perfect. I can't imagine a single person pulling that off better.
It's so realistic. Like, I feel like he's being true in that. Like this is something he really went through.
Yeah.
I forgot all about this monologue, or else it would have been on my top 5 monologues that I did for Thursdays.
You should have, dude. Because it's one of the best ones I've ever seen. It's such raw emotion.
Oh yeah, it's beautiful. It's pure beauty. Like it's just. You feel like even like the hiccups that he would do, and like small stuff like that. Even it's just,
he turns around. He's like, "The war's over." And he's ignoring him at first. He's like looking out the window, still playing his escape. Like, Rambo, it's over. And he's still like going around, and finally like Rambo. So he's like, "It's never over." It's just like
the
shit.
iconic.
Yeah, you don't just turn it off. Like, that shit gets me hard, dude. And when he explains, he like kind of like collapses. And he's sitting there, like, sitting down. And he's like, like, I don't have anybody. No one checks on me. And he's just like, back then, I could be the star. Like, he's like he's saying, like, I'm a star, basically. Like, I could control this. I could do this in the war. Everybody looked at me as, like, a hero. Back here, I can barely fucking do that. And he's, like, I can't even wash windshields. He's, like, losing his shit like that.
Can't even work at a car wash.
And it's hitting me like a fucking... like ton of bricks. And he's like, me and my buddy, and he, like, whatever his name is, and he's like, and I walk away, get a few beers, and guy comes over with the box, it's wired, he opens it up, and boom, like, I come back over, and he's doing that shit, and he's just like, and he's like, help, he's like, please, man, I just want to go home, and his guts are all over, he's my friend, and his guts are all over me. And he's like, I just want to go home. And the way his voice cracks, he's like, I can't even find your legs. When he says, I can't even find your legs, dude, I lose. I'm like, motherfucker. I think I'm about to cry. He's like, I can't even find your legs. Like, it's just like,
it's very emotional.
Dude.
Very emotional.
And the way he's emotional, and he, like, reaches out for him. And when he's saying, like, he has nobody, how nobody checks on him, nobody wants anything to do with him, he has nobody to call, nobody to turn to. This is what I was talking about earlier. You revert back to, like, that opening scene, and you realize how much that hurt him even more. He was just a drifter with nobody to turn to, and the whole walk there, all he had to think about is, like, I can't wait to see Delmar. I can talk about the war, and, like, that's going to be huge for me, man. Like, finally, like, he's probably like, I finally somebody I can talk to. I'm so alone in the world. Like, I can almost get emotional talking about it. And then it's like, oh, Delmar's dead, too. You just had to, like, hit him with that. And you could see he wanted to say more, but because he's a good guy, he was just kind of like, oh, really? I'm sorry. And then he's got to walk away with that emotion, which only makes sense to why all this happened even more. Because that you see at the end of the movie, he's that just struck by emotion and the fact that he doesn't have anybody. He not only had to deal with Dennehy's bullshit in the movie, he was on the verge of like, that was like it. I thought that was my last like friend. Like I thought I finally had somebody, maybe even to share like suicidal thoughts with, because you know he's going through it. And he's like, I can maybe put these demons to bed. And he was gone. I have nobody again. And then you have another person that you already don't know, but is another person that's casting you aside. So it makes complete sense for him to snap. And when you look at the movie in that perspective, how it comes full circle, that Delmar thing was so important, I think. And it hits home like a motherfucker, dude. And it really raises awareness for how we treat like some of our like soldiers and servicemen and shit. And it tears me up, dude. I mean, this movie is aged so damn well.
Yeah,
it really, like, especially like, I mean, dude. I mean, it's weird because we think about this franchise as like this action hero shoot 'em out, dude. But it started as just a sad story with just a broken man, and that's what makes it so special. Fucking amazing,
so good,
amazing movie. You got anything else to add on the first Rambo?
I just think overall they every direction that they went in this movie was a good move. I think on their part. I think it's a great movie.
It's hard for me to say it's underrated because people love it so much, but there's a part of me that almost thinks it's underrated because there's so many people. You know those movies that people just like, they go so hard in the paint for, like they're like, oh, I love that movie, where even the people that hadn't really even watched it or gave it the time of day, were like, yeah, dude. Like even Star Wars, like I love Star Wars, but they might have never really watched Star Wars but twice in their life.
Yeah,
I think Rambo kind of has that effect too. There's people that are saying like, "Oh, I love the Rambo," and just think of a few scenes from the whole franchise.
or they're thinking about these.
Yeah, they're thinking of that, or they're thinking of like, I remember what was the one where they were in Afghanistan? Oh yeah, like yeah, Rambo the first. I love that. But really, they don't realize what the first one is, because I feel like a lot of people would be like, "I love Rambo." If you ask them just straight up, just like, well, what do you feel Rambo's about? They wouldn't fucking come away with what we've kind of discussed here. So that's why, like, in a weird way, I almost feel like it could be considered as underrated, because there's so many people that I feel like just kind of accept it as a great movie and don't really understand the gravity of, like, what is there in the film that's so subtle and so beautiful at the same fucking time.
They want the action, the blood, and all that.
Yeah, but you go back and watch the first one as, like, a one-off.
Beautiful. Oh yeah, it's a great movie as a one-off.
Beautiful one. It's a long red home. Whatever the last song comes on.
Oh, is it the first one or second? No, the first or second one. One of them had, oh my god, the ending song, the credits rolling. Mm-hmm. It's just like, this doesn't fit. I don't know if it's this one or the second one.
Is like the same kind of song.
Yeah, but one of them's worse than the other. Like
You're probably talking about the first or second one. I'm not a big fan of it either. But like if you listen to the song further, they're like, "You drew first blood." Like it's like, okay, maybe it was a song for the movie, but it doesn't fit as well. I don't think either. Not holding it back on the score though, because the movie itself was great. Yes. I think it's really the first and the second one. It's either the same song or a very similar song. Probably the same people. It's like, make one for First Blood Part 2. And they got to the third one. They're probably like, all right, let's ditch this. People don't like it as much as I thought. Anyways, let's talk about some more shoot 'em up shit that more people know the Rambo franchise for. What'd you think about Part 2, playa?
I like it. I don't understand. I don't understand, though. He's in prison. I guess it's a prison, like a working camp prison. And Troutman comes back and offers him another, like, well, not another, but offers him a job. After what he just went through in First Blood, I don't see because what did he say? He had like 5 more years in there in that work camp, and then
I don't know how. After all, even though he didn't do anything, after all the carnage he caused, I mean, you would go, even if he didn't kill anybody, they'd probably look at a lot of that shit, even if it wasn't his desire to be like attempted murder.
Yeah.
And even on the newscast, they're saying if their police skills weren't there, they would have. So everybody's thinking, okay, he tried to kill them. That's kind of like what everybody else thinks, even if it isn't. And then he's coming in blowing up gas stations. He shot up Dennehy. I guess we don't really know if he lived or not. I think he probably...
Oh, I doubt it. He got hit like 4 times.
Yeah, he got hit up through the legs. And then I doubt it, but we didn't see his body. Like, especially in an action franchise, like
Rambo
it would
6.
not surprise me if Dennehy comes back. Well, I almost said luckily he's dead. That'd be horrible. Not what I meant to say at all. Dennehy's the man, dude. Definitely did not mean that.
Unfortunately,
R.I.P.
he's passed.
I just got tongue tied. Dennehy was a good actor. You know, Rambo, Tommy Boy. Okay, that's basically all I got. But I love him in both.
So he basically offers him a deal.
Yes.
Like,
And I get it. I really do. Because I feel like it should have been more than like 5 years. Maybe he says that. And I bet he didn't want to hit Rambo with this, you know, but at the same time, it's Rambo. And he's like, if anybody can handle it's this. He probably thinks he doesn't deserve to be there. And if he completes the mission or whatever, he gets a presidential pardon. So he doesn't have to be in prison anymore. So he's like, he probably wrestled with it if we saw the before and was probably like, at the end of the day, I got to give him his chance to get out of here. If he doesn't want
I'm pretty
it,
sure he even said maybe, though. He said maybe a presidential pardon, you know?
He might have said maybe. I can't remember
Which,
exactly.
I mean, if there was a chance, I guess, I mean, why not? You are Rambo at the end of the day. But, so yeah, he gives him that deal, and the deal, you know, it looked good. You know, he flies a helicopter to the base camp where they need to be, and this crew is sketchy as hell.
Dude, what I wrote, I was like, I get instant y'all ain't shit vibes from Murdoch and Erickson.
I swear.
Like, it didn't take no time from like, these motherfuckers are on some bullshit.
Yeah, immediate. Like, no trust. I'd have been like, oh, yep, y'all handle this. Y'all have a good time.
And these, I mean, motherfucker. I mean, dude. I mean, I'm surprised fucking Erickson didn't sweep the leg right there, brother. Like, I mean, that's a dude from Karate Kid. He's been sketchy.
Oh, yeah. It's just, he has that look to him. Like, any movie I see him in, villain.
Yeah.
Immediately.
And these motherfuckers really thought they're going to send Rambo out to the middle of Thailand just to take pictures.
Like, you sent him home.
You really thought he was just going to be out there like, dude, Rambo ain't about that life, bro. You ain't sending Rambo out with a Polaroid and that's it, bro. It's not happening that way. It's not going to go down like that, dude. I will say this, though. I did love that Troutman was back.
Yes.
He was like a walking hype man in this one as well. Just fuck, even maybe better than the
yeah,
first.
he did kill it with the hype in this one, too. I was just like, oh, so we're doing this again. But then as it went on, I'm like, God, Rambo's such a badass, dude.
Yeah. Like, and that's what killed me. Like you talked about, like there's a suit up scene. They even like cracked me up. They even did like a part with the camera. He was like packing the camera. I'm like, what the fuck? Like only Rambo could make this look cool. Like the cartridge. He's even like music's picking up. That's him like warming up. Yeah, dude. And once they get on, you know, the little hovercraft, whatever aircraft they got there, plane, helicopter, whatever the fuck. He
air vehicle.
Yeah, the air vehicle, the AV. Yeah. Once he's on the AV, and of course it goes horrible. He's like smacking into the side of this motherfucker, dude. He's trying to cut himself away.
Yeah, dude, it looked so bad. Like not like. Looks wise, it looked great, but just like the situation, like this poor guy, dude.
Like, how are you doing? Like, don't fuck this up to this level. He's gonna go in the vent or whatever he said. And Murdoch had the nerve to be like, "Yeah, I don't think anybody'd survive that, so we call it off." It's like, motherfucker, this is John fucking Rambo.
Like, did you not just hear what Troutman was telling you?
Know what you speak before you talk.
At least give it 3 hours, okay? You'll hear his name again, I promise.
Oh, my God. And then you really get maybe your first one-liner of this whole franchise, because the first one wasn't really about that. When he meets up with Ko or whatever her name is, and she thinks it's going to be like a dude. He's about to cut her. It's like, what'd you expect, a man? And he's like, where have you been? He's just like, I got hung up. Love it.
So stupid.
Dude, and I really enjoy the little chill moment. I think her name's Ko. I forget. It's like Ko. It's C-O. We're going to call her Ko for this. If you hate us, enjoy. I like the little chill moment Rambo and Ko have on the boat. Like, it kind of brings like a little more humanity to the character, because this one's more shoot 'em up. Even the one that I got hung up, like it jumps you straight into it. More action, shoot 'em out. There's a little bit of the first one in there, but not a lot. But the reason why there's just an incy bit is because of moments like this where they have the downtime and he's talking to Ko and she's talking about like where he came from, and he's just over there like kind of looking like carving something while he's talking to her, not looking in her eye, not making eye contact. You can tell he's been through some shit. She might not understand that yet, and he's kind of just here for business. So I think that scene was a nice little icebreaker into the mix. I enjoy that for that reason.
She was a good character too.
Yeah.
In this,
I agree.
I was
Dude.
really happy with her until
Yeah.
the end.
And when they get there, though, you got to feel bad for all these dudes that are prisoners. I mean, holy shit.
Well, that was another thing too. Is Rambo's got a soft spot for
Yeah.
POWs, so like it's like Trotman knew he couldn't say no to this. This kind of a mission.
Yeah, dude. Oh, my Lord. That's a tough one. Yeah, I mean, how couldn't he be? You know what I mean? Like, it seems like Rambo's got a soft spot for, like, everything, even. Like, let alone POWs, dude. And I love how when they get sold out, like, on the boat after all the action takes place, which, I mean, that was a great action scene where they were kind of, coming through, trying to be real chill about it, get in and out, all that, not just pictures happen inevitably. And they get like one POW or whatever. That whole scene was well done, but when they get to the boat, man, afterwards, like Rambo is just like chill as fuck, dude. Like, I mean, about being hit. Like one dude comes over because like after they found out about selling him out, and he just comes over and hits him in the face, and Rambo, it's not like he's just like. They're like, psh, looks back at him like, what now? Like he doesn't say, he doesn't exactly say that, but that's how you feel, dude. And that had to be such a you got to be shitting me moment.
Oh yeah.
When the helicopter didn't pick up Rambo,
Dude.
that POW up, dude. Like when you're like,
That was
we're right here.
Such bullshit. It was such bullshit
Hell,
because
they're
look,
right over 'em.
they were close enough at one point where you could see Rambo like try to reach for the landing pads or whatever on it, and he like touched them.
Yeah,
So it's like you're already right here. Just go down a little bit, dude.
It's like trying to dunk. You're just like, I can reach the rim
Yeah.
finally. Like it's right there. I can feel the metal. Just lower down a little more.
And then you got the pilot looking at him
Oh,
like
my
with a
God.
shit-eating grin almost on his face, and then he's like, "Nope, we're out of here." It's like, oh my God, you were so close. Just pick him up.
Like you bastards. All that running too to get away, and then like barely maybe like up the hill. Like, come on, we're almost. Wait. What? That would be such a fuck.
Dude.
God, be kidding me moment.
I'd lose my mind.
Oh my God. I tell you what though, that sludge water that they kept Rambo in looked pretty tasty, dude.
Sludge water.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
they had him on the thing,
torture.
and he like lifts them up. Oh
Dude.
my God, that water looked gross, dude.
Well, hell of a gunfight before that, though. Before he got captured.
Yeah.
Well, we'll say captured, but really he got fucked over. He could have easily taken on that whole squad if he didn't rely on a helicopter to ditch him.
Yeah,
So,
he could have turned around. It was more about like, I ain't got time. I'm trying to get old dude out of here. Some great shit in there, dude. And then they have him captured. And then he's in this greenish. He's got leeches all over him, dude. Looks pretty fucked up. I will say this. Then like the Russian like dudes come in. Maybe they aren't fucking Russian. They seem Russian to me. I get it all mixed up. All these fucking
I guess
villains.
the two red stars and shit. Like, they didn't really dive into them too much.
Yeah, you had the main guy was like call it in. He was trying to get him to call in the fuckery. And then you had old dude and the wife beater.
Yeah.
I like that guy a lot, man. Like that guy doesn't have many like big roles, but he had a pretty big role in Lionheart. He's one of the guys trying to take Leon, John Claude Van Damme's character, back to the what do you call them? The Legionnaires, since he was like an escape. What do you call it? A fucking why am I blanking so hard? Somebody that flees away from the military. He was basically trying. Him and Tong Po were trying to take him back. What? I know.
AWOL.
Yeah, I know any other time. That's actually another name for the movie in like another country.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
he's in that. He's in a few Van Damme flicks. I'm trying to think. The other moments, he's in Nowhere to Run. He's like in a quick spot on like the fucking bus. So like, and there's one other one, but there's no reason to harp on that. You get it. He's in like these big action stars movies. Usually is like a smaller kind of role.
Is that your brother?
Might be. I don't know. Somebody's trying to get in. Oh shit! And it was cool to see him in this movie. Well, not cool to see him in this movie like it's the first time. It's just. Like, when I think about him, I have, like, fond memories. Like, oh, yeah, with Stallone. Oh, yeah, with Van Damme. He was a cool little, like, you know, bad guy in these movies, I guess, even when it was smaller roles, dude. And how much of the torture do you think he could go through, dude? Like, I try to think about that myself, dude. How much of this torture could I go through that Rambo did? I'm going to ask myself, since that was my next note, and Rodney had to disappear on me. Because I don't know how much I could take with that, dude. I mean, obviously, I'm not a badass like he is. But, dude, like, I'd probably give up right away. How much torture do you think you could have took that Rambo took?
Oh,
Anything?
maybe a third of it.
Maybe. I'm over here trying to think. Like, my next note was a question. And, like, I looked over. I was like, how much torture? Guess I'm asking myself. I don't think I could.
Vanished.
Yeah, dude. I mean.
Yeah, no, I'm not. No, there's no. No.
Oh, my God, dude.
I'm good.
And I love the when he finally agrees because he's like selfless. It's not him that got him to talk. They were trying to like put the knife or whatever in the other guy's eye. And he's like, fine, I'll talk. And it gets him to get up. And I love like the corny, like but hard grip of the mic. When he sits down, he like goes to like spill the beans. He's like, whoosh, just grips that mic up like this, has the flex with it. And he's just like...
I'm flexing every scene he's in.
He's basically like, I ain't selling shit out. Like, Murdoch, I'm coming to get you. Like, in that, and Murdoch's like, oh, shit.
Yeah,
and you're over there as a viewer like, motherfucker, that's a promise. You know it's going down. And, dude, after that... Hello, Arya. We had Cole. Jesus, they had their little moment.
Man,
and that
poor
was
Cole, dude.
That was a hard scene, dude. It just guns her down. And me and my brother, dude, had an argument about this. We really did. Thank you. The argument we had, which I actually believe they were like a love interest, but at the same time, it's like, can we really say for sure that they were going to be love interests, though? Because it was like one kiss, and then she was done. And the kiss, honestly, even though it's Rambo, so he might not be like, ooh, I got a kiss. You know, he's going to be more, like, reserved. He looks indifferent about it. Like, if you look at his face, and he does say, like, yeah, we'll go to America. But there's no telling, like, if she would have survived in the next one, they would have been more friends. Because, like, that happens where somebody might kiss you, and you kind of go with it, and you're like, okay, that's not really my style.
The thing...
I don't know if we can definitively say, like, they were a love interest.
No, because if they would have kept her going through the second one, if she'd have lived through the second one, they would have been... She would have been the reason we had a third movie. Because they would have killed her at the beginning of the third.
And you even see that, too, like, in movies and other things where, like... You might see a kiss, and then like later on, like they're just really good friends, and then they end up just being friends. Like I could see Cole like being like turning into his badass like right hand woman in this kind of situation where like it seemed like,
and Rambo,
like they have that kiss in the moment. You see the and then they end up fucking not fucking, but
right.
but they end up fucking like having the shootout, and we don't really see another moment like that. But then in the next one, the third one, she's like his right-hand man, and he maybe has another love interest or something, which I'm glad they didn't really involve love interest with these movies. He fits better as the solo act. And I guess that's another reason for killing her. But yeah, I don't know. That was just something I kind of thought of on this viewing. I'm like, I always kind of looked at her like that was going to be Rambo's lover. But I'm like, how did I know for sure that's what that was going to be? Because even though he carries that thing with him like all the time after that, we didn't know for sure necessarily.
No, there was something, but it was minor. I think it was minor.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a tough one. How do y'all read it? I mean, I obviously actually think they probably would have been lovers because that's kind of what they were conveying. But there might have, if you think about it, maybe not. And then the shot of Rambo in the mud behind the dude is epic when they fucking, get back to the bang, 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 shoot him up. And Rambo's in, stealth mode over there. Yeah. That shit, that's probably like my favorite shot of the movie. honestly, or maybe any of these movies. There's something to that, dude, because you see him and he's picking everybody off one by one. Because now he's on a fucking rampage. Co's dead. He's like, I'm killing all you bitches. Yep. And he comes after him. And you see like him picking people off in different ways. But thanks for coming on, Aria. You see you see out of nowhere there's a dude with like a gun. He's like this. And there's just like a mound of mud behind him. And then out of nowhere, like his eyes are closed, so it's muddy. And out of nowhere you just see. And he's just right behind him with his eyes, and then he grabs him and kills him. That is one of like my favorite shots of this franchise, or maybe any action movie. It's just badass, dude. You're just like, you don't see him at all, and then just eyes open, time to kill. And it's like, holy
That's like
shit.
his answer to Predator, I would assume, to Schwarzenegger doing his mud pit.
Dude, some good shit. And I love when old dude is shooting at Rambo and he just casually stands there before he just like unloads that explosive arrow. Yeah.
And dude, I felt like each time he'd shoot the gun, I'm like, oh, he's going to clip him. Oh, he's going to clip him. Yeah. But he doesn't. He never does. And then he gets blown up. Like,
yeah, those explosive arrows are so dope.
Oh, man.
Bing, that
it's little, like, boom.
Fucking sick.
Just body parts flying all over the place.
Dude, epic shit. And when Rambo gets the helicopter, dude,
yes,
fucking everything up.
The way he makes the pilot jump out of the helicopter, and the pilot, dude, almost had the same fate as dude from the first movie, but the pilot this time is like the copter's going and going. It looks like he's going like 40 miles an hour, and he has to jump on. Like you don't know if he's going to hit water or if he's going to hit rocks. So the whole time you're falling, you don't know if you're going to survive it or not.
You ever wondering like, what is this going to be?
Oh, I'm sure he
What's
hit the rock.
Outcome? Oh, probably.
I'm sure of it.
That's at least the way I like to imagine it. Death, you bastard. But he is just destroying everything in that helicopter.
Oh,
everything is getting blown to fucking bits, dude. And then I love how the other guy in the helicopter, because he also had that, like what you were talking about, the way, I like how in that fight scene, too, like, I don't really like it, but it's like that classic, like he's got the upper hand, but I'm going to flip him off, that kind of shit.
Rambo was getting his ass whooped on that helicopter.
Yeah, that dude, I'm telling you, that
he was manhandling Rambo, dude.
Yeah.
He was. Because Rambo, he would push Rambo up against the back, and Rambo would come at him, and then he'd just shove him right back into the
like,
I'm just
get
like,
right back here, bitch.
No shit.
And then the other dude that chased after him in the other helicopter, like, that was like pretty.
That was intense as shit.
Yeah, like, I can't imagine like driving a helicopter, like they're shooting rockets at us, like.
And their helicopter is so much bigger too. It's just like towers over Rambo's.
Yeah, and then there's we're going down, and then you see him just kind of like down, and the guy's like, okay, I'm gonna do this, and I'm about to blow him up. I love that how he just played dead.
Oh yeah. But why? I hate that villains do that shit where they just sit there and wait. Like, why? You could have taken him out.
It's just they're taking it in.
I hate that.
I guess that's what
that's
it is.
That's a pet peeve of mine in any movie is when the villain has a chance to do the job, they don't because they have to either run their mouth or they sit there and stare like it's I
agree with that, but at the same time, I think it only doesn't work because it's so overused. But you can believe that he would sit there and be like, you fucking son of a bitch, like smiling and thinking that in his head before he blows it. So I will say this much, that it's overused, so it's not as believable now. So maybe back then it was a little more believable.
Then it was amazing, bro.
But at the same time, probably still not because it's overused as fuck. But at the same time, at least they did their due diligence to like have him have like a smile on his face and look like he's taken in. Because some of these movies, they'll just kind of like have the guy like staring. Like, you don't know what he's thinking. And then he's like, oh, no, I fucked up. Like, they actually had him, like, you could tell, like, he was smiling and taking in the moment, like, I beat you, you son of a bitch.
Oh, yeah.
And I know he's like...
And quick with the bazooka, too. Like nothing. Just lifts it up and it's like, boom.
And I liked his face, too. The guy that was in the other helicopter was like, that smile. Like, they're like...
Can't pull the trigger fast enough now.
Yeah, there's just something so, like, glorifying about just, like, seeing him just fucking go, like, hey... Boom. Done,
blows him up, turns around, sees BOW chilling there, like scared to death. But then he's like, all right, this is it, y'all. That was like the last boss right there.
Yeah, we good. But I got a little unfinished business here.
Oh.
Like, I think Murdoch, dude, shit himself a little bit when he called in saying, I'm arriving with some POWs.
Oh, yeah.
Because last time he heard on the mic, like, I'm coming for you, Murdoch.
Yeah.
Started gripping them. You know, he was like, oh, fuck. Oh, fuck.
And how, dude, he superseded Troutman and made him look like a pussy for real, dude. Like it kind of upsetted me because I'm just like, Rambo's your homie at this point, and you're not doing anything at all to help him out. Like you're not even trying. Like it's like I feel like Troutman would be a higher command than what's his name?
Maybe just not in that sector. I don't know.
God.
Whatever you got to say there, but I love how when he gets there, he just casually walks up. Just
I wouldn't call that casual. Dude.
Yeah.
He's on a mission.
Yeah, he's on a mission, but I mean casual in the way he's not like he's about his business.
Yeah, doesn't care of the
like he's not like here the fuck I am. Yeah. He waits till he like gets in, like stern walking, then he's just like, oh,
shooting all of the computers and shit.
But he shit himself again after he heard that. Because he heard, like, I'm coming for you. And he looked nervous. And then he's like, I'm coming back with the POWs. You're like, oh, he's on his way. Yeah. And then you're sitting in the back somewhere just listening. And you just hear,
oh, there's gunfire in my office.
Oh, yeah. I'd be like, I'd be over there like, you've got to be. Like, he had to have had him spooked as fuck.
Oh, yeah.
Right there, dude.
100%.
Oh, my
100%.
God.
But yeah, then he fucking basically manhandles him. Throws him on the table by his shirt, and dude, you think he's gonna stab him right in the face? You think? And that knife, dude, is so beautiful. That knife is, and it's so brutal, like scary looking. Mm-hmm. But he just, rears up and just fucking smacks right on the table, right next to his face.
It's great shit. Yeah,
I'd be scared to death.
Yeah, and then the whole definitely nowhere near the monologue of the last one.
No,
when he talks to Troutman.
Yeah,
which is it's almost like disappointing because you love the fire. You're like, I wish he'd do this every movie. But that's Stallone, dude. You got to give him credit. Like this motherfucker knows how to perform a monologue.
He really does.
Like you look at the Rockies. That's all the Rocky movies are. Is like him just getting you hyped the fuck up, dude. I don't even need fucking music when I'm working out, dude. Just give me. I could put on the Rocky movies on repeat and just watch them the whole week while I'm working out. Like that's all I need.
What is there? Two Rocky movies before the first Rambo?
When did 3 come out? There's definitely 2.
Yeah, because one was 70.
I want to say
8, right? 77.
Yeah, 3 came out after the first Rambo.
Because I
feel like 82. I can tell just by his look. I couldn't remember exactly when 3 came out. I want to say 3 was like 84 or something. Yeah, I want to say 3 was 83 or 84 because I believe 4 was 85. But yeah, the first 2 were 70s. So,
okay.
Yeah,
I knew that.
2.
Yeah.
So 2, I'm almost 100% positive 2, and at least 2. Jesus, bro. Come on now. But yeah, he gives the lines like, I want our country to love us as much as we love it. Like, and honestly, though, like, that shit still rings true today, though. Like, with everything going on right now.
It'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah, like, everything that's going on right now, the way the country's, like, in disarray, it's painted those words, like, even a little harder. So, like, when I've always watched that, I'm like, yeah, that patriotism bullshit. Not that it's bullshit, but it's always like cliche where it isn't like from the heart, it feels like.
We should paint a mural of it.
Yeah, but when I heard it this time, I was like, damn, with all the riots, with all the not getting stimmy money, yeah. They don't love us, bro. Like I felt it a little more. Still nowhere near as good, but there's everything going on right now in America. If you live in America, fuck no. It's not. Seems like everybody's divided, and it feels like the top is what's causing that the most. So it's just, it really rang true more than ever for some reason on this watch. And then Rambo just walks into the distance like a boss. And he was pissed when Travis was like, I know, like, you don't love your country anymore. Or like, he was like, what? What? I just want our country to love us the way that we love it. Like, he was offended by that shit. And dude, yeah, total boss walk off in the distance. Like, where's he going? Who the fuck knows?
He don't care either.
He just
He's
walks.
just gonna walk.
Bruh. He just walks, looking to run into another one of them Brian Dennehy's.
Hell yeah, Rambo Part 2.
Yeah, Rambo Part 3 now though.
Moving on.
Dude.
I gotta pee.
Dude, me too. Holy shit, you're gonna have to come back and nail some shit down, as I'm about to piss myself. Insert Red Foreman. I knew right then and there that this would be the best Rambo. Okay, maybe not, but dude, oh come on, him too. He had to say yes, dude. I don't know if you heard that. Big That 70s Show fans. Hard to find bigger That 70s Show fans, so it's nice. I was also watching RoboCop the other night, so like hell yeah, I'm loving this motherfucker in these action movies. Stallone once again looking more jacked by the movie, dude. I love how he gets bigger and bigger by every movie. And we were just talking about the Rocky movies. It's the same thing with that. It's like every time he comes back, it's not just, is he still going to be in shape? You're like, he's going to be even bigger. Like, it's just, I love the progression with that. I mean, if this was a movie about, I don't know, like a drama about something. I mean, fucking look at Cop Out with Stallone. He put on a bunch of weight. It wouldn't matter as much, but when you're watching a movie like this, that's like the pinnacle of when action movies were one-liners and bravado and fucking charisma, machismo. It's nice to see your superstar in the franchise kill it out more and more, dude, with that just physique, dude, because he's coming back even stronger. I appreciated the mano-a-mano duke it out type opening. I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah, it was so without being bloody, it was a brutal showdown between them two.
Yeah, like
and
it
you
felt
didn't
like a
know
fight
if
to the
like
death.
Rambo, like going into it too, you don't have that feeling like, oh, it's Rambo, he's gonna whoop ass. Like you kind of have that feeling like this might be a good fight, and it turned out to be a really good fight.
Yeah, they were duking it out. Like that's probably like their
What
champion
are those?
or some
What
shit.
are those called?
Yeah, those little sticks.
Yeah,
Like, what are I'm
there's
trying to think of what
something
they're
sticks.
called because
That is what they're
I
called.
should have Googled it, but I was sitting there. I was like, "What are those called?" Yeah, Jamie called you.
Oh, did she?
I believe so. It was her face.
Yep, that's her.
All right, nice. Do not
Almost
answer
done.
the phone, damn it. No, I'm just playing.
Okay,
Yeah. I'm just
they're
playing.
not nunchucks.
Do what you need to do. Yeah, it's like nunchucks without the metal. Put some metal in between those bitches. Don't be lazy. Get some fucking nunchucks, bro. And then you get, of course, Red and company are watching the. I'm just gonna call them Red. Fuck it. They're watching the fight and they're about to, propose another mission to him. Troutman's trying to talk to him, and
sticks.
oh, okay, the sticks. The fighting sticks.
It's
I feel
stick
like at
fighting is
least,
what
yeah.
it's-
That's what I was about to say. I was like, now that you said that, I feel like we should just add fighting in front of it, and I think that's how. What'd you call them? I knew that immediately after you said. it. I
So
was
the
like,
fighting with
stick.
sticks.
Yeah, but he was ready to go on another mission. But I like how, not ready to go on another mission. They were ready for him to go on another mission. I like how he was reluctant. Like he had like a state of where like this ain't the best, but I'm content. Like I'm kind of good where I am. And he even tells Troutman like, sorry, like it's got to end for me sometime. Like,
Yeah,
I
like at this
that.
point, I'd just be like, no more jobs from you, dude.
Yeah,
Like I'm not
enough of this.
Yeah, no sir. The last 2 times we got together, it was I almost died.
And you know what? He didn't accept the mission this time. All right, end the movie. Nope.
That's it. No more sequels.
Troutman gets captured, and you're immediately, as a viewer, like, I know it's going to get Rambo out of hiding.
Yeah.
Troutman just had to get captured.
Yep.
Yeah, dude. And, man, I feel like 3 is even more self-aware than 2, which makes it the most self-aware Rambo. Because 2 and 3 are the ones where they kind of just, like, let's not do the drama as much. Let's just have the bigger-than-life action hero. Like I was kind of describing with the big muscles, like a one-man army, like where it originated type shit. One-liners. Let's have this all-out balls to the wall. There's a little bit... I think that's what makes 2 and 3 still so good, because there is a little bit of humanity in subtle ways, but it's more like, let's have a good time with this. And 3, I think, ditches that even more. Like, they turn up the action. I think, at least at the time, it was the highest budgeted Rambo. There's like an explosion a minute once the shit gets going. And I really like that about 3. I was just like, you know what? Fuck it. It's the third one. We've had this one. We've had this one where it's kind of a tweener, but more of this. Why not go all the fucking way? Just put a bunch of money in this and have a fucking explosion fest, dude.
Oh, they did.
I dug it. How did you feel about the change of scenery in this one? Did that bother you or no?
At first, it did, but when he met up with those guys, all those kings and the leaders in that tent,
Yeah.
that kind of changed. That kind of changed my whole outlook on especially with speaking of a monologue, the monologue that one prince did. To Rambo, explaining to him why they don't want to fight, why it's just like, oh shit,
we get deep over here. This shit makes you be like legit as fucking. Even the ones that are balls to the wall, just crazy. It almost makes you think differently about war, and I don't even know how accurate it is. But I'll be like, damn man, maybe we should cut them some slack. You start thinking like, yeah, dude. It's fucked up. Like, maybe I shouldn't base my war knowledge on Rambo movies, but damn it, man. They won me over. I'm sorry.
And then,
Team Afghanistan.
Well, they got that hog game or the fox or whatever it is.
Yeah, it was a fucking sheep.
They're sheep, dead sheep. You have to ride the horses.
Football. Oh, my God. Yeah, that was great. As far as the change of scenery goes, see, when I used to watch this movie religiously, like 4 wasn't even out yet. So it was kind of like the first one, the second one, then the third one. It was kind of fitting because it was like, let's do something different with the last one, which it was at the time. But at the same time, when I was younger, I'm like, this just doesn't really. I'm just used to Rambo and like some type of wooded jungle setting. I don't know how I feel about this.
I can dig that.
But now that there's been like a 4th and a 5th, it's kind of like just like that fun, dead in the center, like change of pace kind of one that spices it up a bit rather than being redundant with the second one. Like if this was in the woods again, or in fucking I don't know, like just in the forest or wherever the fuck Rambo is with some wooded area, I don't know if it would feel as clean going 2, 3, 4. You'd kind of be like, and again with the fucking wood.
Yeah, see, I feel like
it kind of works.
They had a choice, a creative decision choice, whether to go back into the guerrilla warfare or, straight open desert, pretty much.
Yeah,
and it's like I get what they're doing.
I dig it,
and and like I said, at first wasn't a fan, but that monologue and then after that the horse. With the sheep game and everything, I was like, okay, so I can, this is like new to Rambo even. So,
and I like the little kid that like keeps badgering him. Like,
can I have this?
Yeah, can I have this? Can I have that? And he's like, you want a lot of stuff, don't you? Like, I like all that. And again, like I was kind of touching on too. I love the carryover, the necklace that Koa or whatever got him. Where he's kind of like, what's that? He's like, it's good luck. He's like, what's luck? And he's like, I need luck. He's like, I need luck too, kid. What the fuck? Yeah, like. I love that. And I love how like the main dude, name's blanking on the spot, that he like rode in with the same guy. I was asking him, are you a soldier? Are you this? And Rambo's like, no. He's being very vague. He's like, are you a mercenary? He's asking him all this different shit. And I love the fact that he has no idea like how badass he is at all. I love how Rambo does that. He keeps it very like vague. There's no talk up at all. I let my actions do the talking. And it's always like he comes out of nowhere with it. And the people that are like, thinking otherwise are like, oh shit. Like I love that about these movies. I like that more show than tell type of approach they have with them. Drink my beer here right here. Yeah, speaking of the sheep game, this is how they break up games in Afghanistan, dude, where they're fucking blowing shit up. Worst we get is a streaker, bro, like in the Tampa Bay game.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's like our action. Like, whoa, wow, they just broke up the game with a streaker. Them, they're like, like, game's over. Like, damn, like, we do not know how good we got it.
No, not at all.
They're like, now the horse is to get the fuck away. Like, it's wild to think of it like that. And can you imagine making it look easy by crawling under that trip line? Once they get past that and they're like kind of invading the base or whatever, there's that trip line with the grenades. Can you imagine making it look that easy? Rambo did. He crawled under that trip line like this perfectly. It's not really a trip line, it's like a gate, and he's got to like, not a gate, you know what I mean? It's like fucking 2 or 3 lines. Maybe it is a trip line. I don't fucking know. He goes under it, and there's grenades tied to the end of him. And he kind of just crawls under it perfectly. And the fucking guy that he's with, again, blanking on the name, he crawls under it and just does the worst fucking job ever. He's like sticking his back up like this, and he's just fucking like, yeah, like doing that.
This is why Rambo works
and
alone.
Rambo literally looks back and is like Jesus, like I feel like that dude didn't even try. He's like, let me just do like the worm up under here. Like I don't give a fuck. We blow up. Rambo was like, Jesus, sir. Like what are you doing? Oh my god. And then, of course, they have the nice shootout, you know, per usual. Which we could go on and on about. But, I mean, the guns fired well. Like, what do we really say about that? It was fucking a great time. You've seen Rambo, you enjoy it. Rambo 3 specifically here. And, man, I felt Rambo's pain, dude, when he was treating his wound, dude, like in that cave, bro.
Yeah.
He was like, like I love that scene for some reason. Like it felt so real that like fire went through. Oh my god.
Yeah, see, and that's another thing too.
wild.
Is like with them being the 4K editions, I feel like it's like watching them for the first time.
Oh, it's great.
That's what I tell people. Like with Saving Private Ryan, if you haven't seen the 4K version, it's like
that's sick.
watching it for the first time.
I need to
again.
buy that. Yeah.
But yeah, it looks so good and so I don't know painful at the same time because of how good it looked though. But
And again, we see Rambo kind of attached to a cliff in this one. I'm telling you, there's some cliffhanger shit going on.
He just
here,
loves
bro.
cliffs.
I'm telling you, he knew from the jump, didn't he? And I gotta admit, dude, once you know all the sham shebang happens, when he gets Troutman and they get out and all that, dude. I mean, it's kind of cool seeing Troutman and Rambo on the battlefield together, dude. I think that's cool. Like not seeing it like, hey Rambo, do this. We actually see Rambo and Troutman basically like back to back, like Rambo, take care of this, I take care of this.
Which is good because
It's some
Troutman has
amazing
been like
scenes.
nothing really,
Yeah.
like no help wise at least for Rambo the past 3 movies. So
He's got to rescue him, and rescue him he does, and then Troutman and him are forced to be up to the task together. I love that. I really do love that about it. One scene of action I really enjoy. I love when Rambo climbs out of like that little cavern after he blows everybody up. That was fucking amazing. He's blowing everybody up. He's coming in and out. More great action shit for this fucking franchise. And then he fucking like climbs out, just pulling us, not even trying to use his feet to kind of shimmy up too. He just climbs up that fucking rope that's way up there. Gets out. It really doesn't even get out. He gets to the top, sees Troutman, and that big motherfucker like lifts him out of the hole. And their fight was dope. It was just like some big burly dudes going at it. It was cool as fuck. And I loved again, big burly dudes. He grabs Rambo and he pulls him into like this fucking like he's fucking like breaking his back. And I love like that was like the ultimate like 80s how you finish a guy moment. Because while he's got him like that, he casually wraps the rope around his neck. That was inside of, the cave. So now he's got the rope around his neck and he's trying to choke him out before he gets choked out by the rope, basically. And then out of nowhere, he pulls the pin on his grenade. And then when he pulls the pin, which honestly, if you're like, what if he doesn't react to that for some reason? Then you're all going to blow up together. But he did. He was like, what the fuck? Oh, shit. So he let him go. And Rambo, the only time I've seen him do it, he hit him with the Van Damme spin kick. It wasn't as graceful, but he did a spin kick to this dude. He basically wrapped the rope around his neck, pulled the pin, did a spin kick to his face. He falls in the hole, and as he falls down off the spin kick, hits and chokes, and as he goes slam, he explodes on the rope. I was like, now that is some 80s filmmaking.
that's a good death scene right there.
Yeah, like that's so dope. That's such like that personifies like the over the top awesome. As I'm looking at Stallone and Cobra right here, like another great one.
Side.
Yeah, it's just that personifies the over the top cheesiness that if they tried it today, it just wouldn't work. It was the actors and the charisma that they brought to the role that really made it work. And of course, you get Stallone, Rambo, I should say, and Troutman kind of having one last shoot off there, which was a lot of fun. And, yeah, Rambo takes Afghanistan. Good time. Yeah, I don't know if you have anything
Team
else
Rambo.
to add. Yeah, I mean, it was a good...
This one's... I wouldn't say it's great.
Mm-hmm.
This is a good movie. It's, I don't know, It definitely has its moments where it's like, oh yeah, this is Rambo at its finest. But then there's moments where you're just like,
It's the longest Rambo.
is it the
It's
longest
the only one that's 100 minutes. I believe it's 101 minutes. Every other one is like right at about 90 minutes. And I think because the other ones are that way, it's almost like you can kind of feel the extra 10 minutes in a weird way. But I mean, it works. It's grown on me more and more over the years. It's a damn good time.
Yeah,
All right,
yeah.
That's not what I need. I'm about to all right, restarting with Rambo 3. That's what I was about to do right there. Then we kick it years upon years later. When the fuck did Rambo 3 come out? Rambo 4 came out in like 08?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I was high school.
We'll just say 08. I was in middle school, actually, I think. Maybe beginning of high school.
We're in the same grade.
We are, maybe.
2008.
Yeah, it was 08. So, yeah, I was in middle school. No, I'm just playing.
Yeah.
I was in high school for sure.
We were sophomores or juniors then. Yeah,
Yeah.
This is 88.
Definitely. So we're talking 20 years
20
here.
fucking years. Wow.
Is that not wild to think about?
That's pretty
So
crazy.
this is why I always feel like Rambo 3 was the end, because there was a long dormant amount of fucking time there, and I'd been watching that since I was like 5 years old or something, like 95, 96. So, I mean, if I'm watching this movie from when I was like, 5 years old in 96, I had 12 years in between there, at least over a decade, where I was like, are they ever even going to make a Rambo movie? And I got to tell you, before I even say how I feel about this movie, we'll do that later. First time I watched Rambo, I guess because I kind of was content with it being done, I overly judged the fourth one when I first watched it. Did not enjoy it as much as I do now. Does that mean I love it? Find out. But yeah,
I didn't like it at first because of his look.
it's a little different.
I didn't like he kind of looks fat sometimes in this movie.
Fat but big.
Yeah.
Guess what? You're going to have to open this. Are you ready for this? Because I got to piss.
Yeah, let's do it.
Just talk about Rambo for a second. Just tune back in.
So Rambo.
You're by yourself. So Rambo, he's Rambo.
So yeah, Rambo starts off. It's pretty solid. Beginning with where he's at now, I believe is Taiwan, or it's somewhere over there, and he's snake training. I believe he messes with snake like cobras. I know he hunts them, captures them, and then brings them to where they do the flutes for cobras and stuff like that. But you can definitely tell like he's aged. Rambo is, he's definitely older looking. He's put on some weight. The hair, I didn't like the hairstyle at first. The hairstyle did not sit well with me at all my first watch, but after, a few more watches of it, it's a minor thing to even worry about. But yeah, so he's, chilling in there, and of course somebody comes looking for him, per usual when it comes to Rambo.
I need you to do something.
So, and yeah, you find out that these people that are looking for him are missionaries.
They do like a missionary, yeah.
It's like the worst thing to come to Rambo with. But yeah, so these missionaries come to him and they're like, hey, we need a tour guide, because he drives the boat, and they need a tour guide, and Rambo was told to be a good person to know all the areas around there, and they tell him where they need to go, and that's where shit gets kind of real.
You can immediately tell they're dipshits.
Yeah.
It doesn't take much. Nice to see Dexter, Morgan's wife, Rita, make an appearance. I don't know if you touched on it. I kind of liked how they had the newscasts in the very beginning. They kind of made it feel a little more real.
Oh, yeah, about the Burma incidents and everything.
Yeah, I'll touch on the minefield shit later. I had something about that. Nice to see Rambo's jacked in his old age still. That was nice.
Still looks a little bit
yeah
overweight, but You know,
I don't know. He's just big. To me, I really like that opening music when we first see Rambo. I did want to touch on that. That was like kind of like a new type of theme, and they use that in the Last Blood as well. Really love that.
Oh, the doo doo, like that military kind of tune.
So, yeah, but it's like slow and almost sad sounding.
Yeah.
Dude, I mean, Rambo just feels like a true OG in this one, dude. There's no better way to describe it. And speaking of the people, the missionaries and all that, dude, some people are just willfully ignorant, dude.
Yes.
And mainly that, like,
the bald
that man,
Matthew or whatever.
holy
Michael.
God.
Yeah, I wanted to punch him in the face.
Like, you can kind of see it because there's some people that have that much faith in humanity, but at some point you got to draw a line and realize just what is. And I get it. Those people have such big hearts and they feel that way. But the thing is when I looked at, like, what the fuck's her name in the movie? I'm just going to call her Rita from Dexter. What's her name? Julie Benz or whatever? What the fuck is her name?
Yeah, Julie Benz. Yeah.
She felt like I had sympathy for her because she, like, had faith in humanity, and they all kind of were coming with that approach. But she had it in a way where you could tell, like, she was all in on this. Like, her emotions were pure, and it's like, you don't know what you're talking about. Like, you almost like want to be like, you don't know what you're talking about, sweetie, and trust me, I can tell your heart's in the right place. And I think that's why Rambo really took to her. It wasn't like a sexual thing or anything weird like that. He just really took to her. It's because he could see underneath it all that she was just a great person trying to do great things, but she hadn't seen everything that he'd seen in those fucking trained eyes. Nobody's seen more than Rambo. Whereas the other guy, he just kind of came off like an arrogant prick about it. Like, maybe he felt like he had to do this because his heart was in the right place, and he was just saying, like, maybe almost like doing it for maybe looks or not knowing, like, my way or the highway, not knowing how to talk about it in an appropriate way. He just came off very douchey about it. Whereas Rita from Dexter, Julie Benz's character, she came off pure and nice. So even though she was wrong, you could cope with her. You could understand where she's coming from, dude.
So yeah, then so after that, he basically says, "Do you all realize where you're wanting to go?" And even after explaining it, he eventually caves anyway, and goes to take them.
Just want to be a snake catcher, bro.
Which is a journey on its own. Yeah, so they're on the boat and they're traveling, and this is where earlier you were talking about the silence of Rambo and like how he's like very like that I'll show you intensity. Who I am instead of tell you.
It's that quiet intensity.
Yes, he does that with these missionaries and mercenaries, which we'll get to. But he just silent, like he has nothing to say to anybody.
No,
like he's doing what
a damn thing
they wanted him to do, and that's that. Like and that's it. But of course, on this journey, they run into the pirates, or I don't know if you'd consider them pirates because they
didn't have eye patches.
Well, yeah, and they didn't have swords.
That works. The fucking pirates, bro. Captain Crunch.
So,
is that a woman? That whole fucking thing. Yeah, dude, and you immediately get to see again.
That side of Rambo.
He ain't lost a step. He's a badass.
But he tried.
Yeah,
he tried his best.
He really did, and they're like, "Is that a woman?" And then he's like, "Fuck!" Like, look, man, like, can we talk about it? Like, is that a woman? And it's kind of like, what am I? And he's like looking at their guns. He's kind of like measuring them up. Like, can I get to them before they get to me?
Of course he can.
And he shot them in like a millisecond.
Dude, yeah,
it was like bang, 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 bang. And they were all dead before they could even realize
and then
what's happening.
That dumbass Michael.
Oh my god!
Was like, no, don't shoot the guy that's on the ground reaching for his gun to shoot everybody on the boat.
Yeah, he hit him with one more. He's like, what do you know?
Which, by the way, I love how they did that camera-wise with the shot. It looks like he shot him like 5 times, but really it's different angles of each. I thought that was awesome.
Yeah, like that's basically like how it went down because like old Michael or whatever the fuck his name is, he's like, what do you know? Yeah. I hate how bitchy he sounded when he said that.
I like how he chokes him though.
Yeah, and he's like, well, no, awesome. What do you know?
Yeah,
you don't know anything about out here.
They would have raped her. And,
yeah, they would have.
Which is a call. Oh no, not yet. That's
Yeah, for Game of Thrones, you raped her. You
Oh, yeah.
no, but yeah, like he's like, huh? What do you know? He like ends again with that, and the guy even kind of has a look like he really did just get put in his place.
Oh yeah.
It's like, oh, you want to stop the killing? Like, you know how much killing would have happened here to way less deserving fucking people, dude. He put fuckhead right in his place, dude.
You also got this scene is where you realize this is a way more bloody Rambo. This is a way
And I love
more
that about
brutal,
it.
dude. It's so awesome.
Now, I remember when this came out, it was when like the main hated on things. They were just like, it's bloody for no reason.
Yeah, it was in the news, like articles and everything. Like this is
like,
too violent.
Like I love how they're like, let's bring it back, but they kind of brought back more of like the first one's vibe a little bit. Like it's over the top, but I kind of can identify with him in like a more emotional way in this one, I guess, which is nice. And then they were like, and then just to add a little more to it, let's make this just a fucking blood fest. But it's not just like an aimless blood fest. We have like a movie where it's not like bloody just for the sake of it. It's fucking showing you real life, real world type situations, and showing you how fucked up bloody and war can be from the point of a central character that is coming from a good place, even though he has to dish out this violence. So it works in that way, for sure. And by the time that first village or whatever gets attacked with them, you know, missionaries, dude, you realize, I feel like right then and there, that's when it really tipped off. Like, this movie's not fucking around. They're throwing kids in the fire. They're ripping clothes off of women.
Is a callback to the third one when I'll just call him Arabian guy, was doing that monologue. And he was talking about how this is what they do. They throw our children in fires and they shoot them and, you know, all this. And I felt like that village scene was like a callback to part 3. Where it was like, this is what he was talking about happens. Like, this is it. This is what happens.
Or that too, for sure. They're just like, hey, that was talked about in the third one. Not necessarily like, I mean, yeah, basically what you're saying. It's just like, they talked about it there, like, why not show it? They heard the story, let's show a version of it. Even though, you know, it's obviously different.
Yeah.
But exactly what you're saying. But yeah, that first village attack, like, just does not hold back.
Not at all.
And then, of course, Rambo, again, like, he's probably like, I gotta
doing this again,
save these motherfuckers.
Well, he gets a visit from a pastor who comes and says, hey, we're supposed to be back like 10 days ago. And
you know Rambo's got to. Yeah, he's such a good guy, dude.
Here comes the suit-up scene.
Oh, my God.
Fucking
How about
crazy.
that bald-headed Lewis dude, though? He's such
I can't
a douche.
stand him. And not even in a, oh, you're doing this so well, I can't stand you. Like, I just, the actor, all of that is just, and he's the only one out of the mercenaries that I
feel like that was kind of supposed to be kind of what he was going for.
It was too forced to me.
I feel like he wasn't trying to play like he actually comes off as a badass kind of guy. I feel like they kind of had him play it in a way just like, this dude's clearly not on Rambo's level, and you'll get to see that at some point. He seems like
a psycho. Like, he got a few screws.
Oh, my God. And again, that quiet intensity, dude. I loved how Rambo just played it quiet, just plays the role of a boatman, gave him a few stares here and there.
You can drop the 1,000-mile stare. He's like, I've seen them all. It's like, not this one, bud.
Yeah, he's just looking at him like, yeah, okay, whatever. And, oh, man, I love how once they get out of the boat and the whole crew sits there like bitches, dude, when those people are running through those mines.
Yeah.
Dude, can you imagine running through those mines like that? You're going to get shot. You just got to just take off.
I would just have them shoot me, honestly.
I think so, too.
There's no way. I'd probably have a heart attack on the way out there.
But at the same time, though, you're like, that's definitive. I'm getting shot in the head. If I can somehow get past these mimes,
you still have to go back through them again.
Like,
they make them go back through again.
Yeah.
Well, they were about to.
Yeah, but you're thinking like maybe like I feel like I'm moving, like I'm a locomotive. Maybe I can get away. And there's
they were gonna kill him regardless.
No, they were, but there's like a sense of hope there. I feel like when you're running and you're in the moment, you're like, maybe I can get through somehow. Or like when you're just sitting there like a sitting duck, just shoot me in the head. there's less hope there. I
I
think
would
it's just
shit
people
myself
running.
with every step I took.
Oh yeah, like Murdoch in the second one, just dropping deuces in your pants. But I wasn't worried about Rambo. But those motherfuckers should have been worried about Rambo.
Oh, yes.
Because while those fucking mercenaries were sitting there
Little
like
babies.
bitches,
Yeah.
Rambo just comes in and, dude, the way he takes all them out, it's fucking G as shit. And you know those mercenaries were like, what? Especially that Lewis bastard. He
Yeah.
was probably like, what the fuck is
He's
going
like,
on
okay,
here?
I'll take advice from him.
Yeah, and that final shot was perfect where he hit one dude with the arrow and he fell in, and as soon as he like hit the wall, he like exploded.
Yes.
That was like, yep, that's how you cap that bullshit, dude. And he made Lewis look like a bitch, and it didn't take long to win over the rest of the gang.
Live
When
for
he's just
nothing.
holding that, yeah,
Die for something.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God. Arrow to the face and everything.
I was ready to see it, dude. I was ready to see it.
And then this is when this is about the time the freedom fighters or whatever they were called. What were they? The little militant group that's fighting against the Burmese or whatever.
I know you're talking about.
Yeah, I think that's about the time they show up, isn't it?
Yeah, somewhere in there. Fuck it, we can talk about it.
Yeah.
It's where they go to save Sarah and all that shit. Here pretty soon.
So what's after this one?
What's
I
that?
forgot what's after this scene?
Dude, I don't know. I just write down notes and roll with it. Sometimes I don't remember every little scene. But like my next note, if you want to hear that.
Yeah, I do actually.
Of course, they go to save Sarah. They had their moment. Everybody gets their kill on because basically, when he's talking to them, is like live for something or die for nothing.
That's
Whatever
right.
the fuck. He like basically they rally around him like we got to find Sarah. Like why you want to find this bitch? And it's like no, we got to find her because of this, this, and this. I think it's questioned at some point. And then he goes with them to find her. They help out a little bit here and there. And he finally does go up and find Sarah as, like, some dude's about to, like, rape her. And that is some gangster shit, the way he kills that guy. He just fucking rips his throat. And it wasn't like a fake-ish.
No.
Like, it wasn't like a fake, like, I got you. Like, if somebody was able to rip her throat out, like, do you feel like
That's what it would
Rambo
look like.
would be able to? It takes, like, 10 seconds for him to, like, dig in and then rip. And it is fucking... That's a glorious death scene right
Yeah,
there.
it
I
is.
love that shit.
Very satisfying.
Yeah. And due to a lot of the brutality that we've mentioned, it makes the villains very, very effective. Like, I feel like the villains in this one are above, like, all the other ones. Maybe not, like, villain because of, like, the first one with Dennehy.
Yeah, I'd have to
That was
say
good.
he's probably the
Yeah.
best of the series.
But if you're talking about like overall like scared of everything, like this one delivers more than 2 and 3. Like 2 and 3 were like they were villains and you were like, oh, they're capable of some crazy shit, but Rambo felt like invincible. Going into this one, even though Rambo still feels kind of invincible, he's a little older and you get to see firsthand. It's not just this is what they do to us. They're explaining it. You see it. And you see how cruel they are, making people run through mimes.
Yes.
I keep saying mimes for some reason. Run through like mimes, right there, like. See if you can get past those. Right at their feet. Yeah, but they're forcing it. You're seeing them getting forced through mines, and that's like the first fucking scene after the newscast. You're seeing it. So from the jump, they're like painting the picture like these are evil motherfuckers. So that makes them more effective, I think. Personally, I don't know if you feel the same.
Oh, yes. But I still think the villain in the first is the better.
Oh yeah.
But he's definitely, this one is a scarier, I guess.
I'm saying there's more of a threat here
Yes,
than there
okay,
ever
yeah,
was
yeah.
before. Where it's like, fuck. Like, one, there was the least amount of threat, even though villain, Dennehy was great. And even like
he was
Gall-
also within boundaries, too, though,
Yeah.
whereas they aren't.
Yeah, whereas 2 and 3 was like the same wind up of this kind of stuff, but we didn't get the villains as fleshed out and see what they were capable of. We might have heard a couple things, but it wasn't on the level of this, I guess you could say. There's more fear in your heart when they were on the screen. And Rambo, man, he's always on some selfless gangster shit, dude. Like tying a piece of Sarah's clothes, dude, when they're on him at like towards the end. Around like what he ties it around like his foot or something
Yeah.
for like the scent picks up on the dogs and he lets
Which was
fucking,
genius.
Yeah, and the schoolboy fucking tell him to run off with Sarah as he lets off rounds into the fucking air. Like, that was great shit, dude. That's just, and you know what that means? Time for another one-man army.
Yeah.
Here we go
So
again.
what straps a bomb to a bigger bomb,
Oh my god.
and puts what was that white sheath? Like, what was that? Was it a letter or a piece of clothing or what?
I think it might have been like the thing he put over his foot. Is that what you're talking
Is
about?
that what it was? Where he put it, where they lifted off the leaves or whatever
Yeah.
on top of that C4?
Yeah, I think he did that so the scent would lead him to that spot.
Okay, yeah, the dog. Well, yeah, that makes sense. The dog was sniffing.
Yeah, and
okay.
then boom, they're done.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
and that bomb is a monster too.
Dude, it was amazing.
And
I don't like CGI, but it looked great. Like the way
Yeah.
it was closing in on him, and then like he jumped off like the hill, and then he boom, boom, boom. Like I thought that was an amazing scene.
Yeah, and you could see him like sprinting.
Yeah, like,
and you know that's
Jesus
really
Christ.
Stallone doing that too. But
Oh
yeah,
my God. I love that scene with the bomb for sure.
yeah, the bomb scene is great.
Then he gets on that turret gun, dude.
Oh my Jesus! That
He
whole
is-
scene alone is one of the greatest action scenes of all time.
He
It's-
fucks everything up, especially on the 4K, dude. There's
Oh,
the way
yes,
it
dude,
sounds
it's-
on there.
sounds and looks. It's just,
It's
a bloody mess.
It's just insane, dude. Like it was game over. You knew it. I mean,
Oh,
he
yeah.
got hit in like the shoulder,
Yeah.
but he hopped right back
Yeah,
up. Like,
he still held on to the gun with the other arm. Like, no.
Like I'm not. No,
I'm
we're in
going to
this
grab
win
that
it.
wound and be like, no, I'm done.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, he did. He was cutting people in half with those bullets at 50 cal. And then you got his buddy, the sniper, over there fucking taking people's heads off and just like
That's
there were
good
2 or
shit.
3 people at once. But yeah, like even close up. Well, the best one was, of course, when he first gets on the gun and he just blows up or shoots the people in the driver and passenger seat. And it's just
Bang,
a
bang,
fountain
bang,
of.
bang.
It's just unnecessary, but it's so awesome.
It's so dope.
But
You gotta go a little over the top with these, dude.
yeah, and it's a hell of, and even Michael ends up killing
Yeah,
one
he
dude
kind
with
of
a
comes
rock.
around
yeah,
at the end a little bit.
yeah, it's still a
then you,
dick, but you know.
Then he gets. I like how he made it personal with the last guy. Though.
Oh
Hey,
my
caught
god!
him.
Which I think is one of the. I think that is where they got Rambo's one of his. I think it's either fatality or X play on the new Mortal Kombat.
Oh, I bet.
Is where he stabs him in the stomach and then slices to the left.
Most of what they got on Mortal Kombat was from 2, I think. Even like there's where he's about to fight. He's like, oh, and he's like
Yeah,
letting off
yeah.
rounds. That's from 2, where he shoots up the whole place before he goes after Murdoch. But a lot of it's from that. But yeah, I mean, there's other little tidbits of other shit.
Yeah, he guts him, and the way that scene is it's perfection.
Rolls
He's
down the
running.
hill.
The camera is facing him, and he's running and running, and then all of a sudden he stops, and you hear this gut sound, like this like puncture sound.
Yep,
Then his face lit up, and then you're like, oh, he got you.
he's right.
Camera
on a
pans
tree.
out.
Boom, son.
Yeah, it's so epic. And then he just pulls the knife to the side and just kicks him down the hill, and his like body's like flopping in half and shit. It's so crazy.
It's great.
It's so
Dude.
crazy.
I like how when the battle is all over, too, it's said and done, we got like that signature moment where they all kind of look up at him in
Yeah.
like admiration.
Yeah.
Like he not only was like face to face, he was like up on the hill, so it's almost like they were looking up at like a god or something.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're all looking up at him, and he's sitting there like holding his shoulder or whatever, and it's playing that dope ass music. And even that Michael douche is kind of like, yeah, it's Rambo.
So you do have to kill sometimes.
Yeah, I get it now. Sorry, Jesus. Yeah, like the respect shown there was just like you could feel it. Like, man, this guy is special, and I love that. Like for him, dude. And seeing him finally return home is also a very fitting ending to me. Like I enjoyed seeing Rambo on the mailbox, and him just kind of take off down that long road.
Let me tell you something about that.
What?
I was curious
Mm-hmm.
when I watched this movie today.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa, yesterday. The end credits, when he's walking down his driveway, they keep the camera on him walking all the way. He walks all the way down to the end and takes that left turn
Mm-hmm.
and gets behind the trees and vanishes.
Mm-hmm.
And then the credits go to black. I'm like, I just sitting there, I'm thinking, all right, so
Where'd he go?
he's not gonna walk this whole stretch of he's not gonna do, dude. Yeah, Stallone
He
just
does.
walked it, and he just, I mean, at a normal pace. And I'm sitting
Oddly
there thinking, I'm
satisfying.
like, dude, yeah, like it is, and it's almost aggravating too. It's just like, why would you like? I get it, but I don't. Like that's like a half a mile driveway. like you're doing
It's just
this for
kind of like
credits.
instead of like blackness, like let's really drive home the point that he's
I
going
get it,
home.
though.
I dig it. I think I've watched that too. Like I kind of forgot that, but when you said that, I was like, I
was watching
remember
it.
like looking at it back in the day. Like what? Like did we see him get inside?
Yeah, that's what. Well, see,
I think
part
that
of me
my
was
thought.
like, maybe there's a post-credit scene I don't know about, but it got to the point where I was just like, oh no, they're
I mean,
literally
you should
just
know about
walking
it.
a-
If anybody, you watched to the end. Was there a credit scene or
no,
not?
there was nothing.
Okay, unless there's another.
Nothing.
It's that other cut, dude. Yeah, Rambo 4 though, man. And we move on to Last Blood. No?
Oh, wrong one.
Yeah, well, on this side, our shit's backwards when we do this. Okay. Yeah, it's so weird how it does that. Yeah, it'll throw you off, don't it? I just went left. I just went right.
Well, see, I'm left on there, right over here.
Y'all gotta stop doing this to me. I hate it. Rambo Last Blood. Okay.
I've never seen it.
Okay, so you're out on this one?
Yeah.
All right, bro. Hit me up tomorrow or something. All right, dude. Been real. Okay, but stay, though, because you have seen it. Okay.
I saw this in theaters. I was so excited about it.
I was so stoked for this, and I somehow didn't see it in theaters. I'm really shocked I did not. Let's just talk about that music. They brought the music back from the forefront. That
Yes, which I love it. I love it.
It just fucking hit. Speaking of music, I remember in the trailer they had Old Town Road. Now they did kind of like do something with it where it sounded like a normal song that actually fit with the trailer. It wasn't like I'm gonna take my horse. It wasn't and all that shit. It was kind of like Old Town Road,
I'm
road,
gonna
road.
ride
Yeah.
till we can. No.
Yeah, it just
I know what you're
worked. It
saying.
worked in the trailer, but I was like, bruh, I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. Like, if that would have been in the end credits, like, I'm gonna take my horse to the Old Town Road. I'm gonna ride till I can't no more.
I'm sure it's down the road.
Oh
on
my
the
god,
credits.
I got the horses in the bag. Dude, I'd have been like, bruh, if I hear I got the horse in the back, you better ruin everything that came before it. I had to say that, but that legitimately scared me. Luckily, we did not get any of that. Would have killed the fucking vibe, dude. And I gotta say it, man. Immediately, at least initially, there's a bit of a struggle for me to see this as Rambo. And it's not even necessarily the movie's fault. It's the scenery in which he's in, even though that's kind of like where we left off, is a little different.
In the hair.
And that combined with the signature look.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not just, okay, so he's different for the fifth movie. 82, 92, 2002, 2012, almost 2022. This movie came out. It's almost, 40 years of watching Rambo?
Yeah.
So when you have something that goes back, and I'm not even 40 years old, but it goes back to, I'm watching these movies forever. It's just ingrained in my head a certain way. So when I see Stallone on like a farm and not out in the woods or even Afghanistan, I even told you when I was watching back in the day that Afghanistan was hard for me to get over at first. With the farm and then the not, I'm just like, I almost feel like I was watching like Rocky on like some horses or something.
I like how they did the farm though.
No, it was good. It's not that it's well done. It's more of like a me thing. And I think it's more of like I think most people have watched these movies like their whole life. It's at least initially hard to be like, dude, this is Rambo. Because when you're watching a movie, you're not like, this is Rambo, this is Rambo, this is Rambo. It's more of a subconscious thing. Like there's times where like I would go on spurts where I'd be watching, not that I'm not enjoying it, but I'm enjoying it, but I'd feel like, oh yeah, this is a Rambo movie. And then I'd watch it some more after I had that thought, and I'm like, yeah, this is a Rambo movie. I got to remember that. Like, I had moments where like that. And it's not even, like, it's just one of those things. It's unfortunate.
It's
like,
because he's home.
Yeah, he's
That's
home.
exactly what it is.
And if maybe it's the combination of home and the signature look is gone.
Yeah.
It's like, it's the double doozy. And it's not the fact that you can't not look away from that. It's the fact this franchise has went on for so long, and there's just a built-up expectation that's just like human nature that's just hard to avoid. Like I said, you're not looking at it like Rambo, and you're watching it. You're just kind of like letting the movie take you on a journey, and while you're on that journey, sometimes you're like, oh, fuck, it's Rambo. Like, there's moments still when I watch this, I'm like, Rambo, get it through your head, Brandon. But
yeah, I
mean,
can understand
it's
that.
most of it, but at the same time, I heard a lot of people say this, and I honestly was like, I'm not going to be one of them because I hate just kind of blending in with the crowd, which I'm usually like the opposite. I'm like, let me tell you why this is better, or this like this, or this isn't like this. But this one, being a fan of the franchise like my whole life, watching it like my whole life, like I was saying, even in elementary school, it doesn't throw me for a loop. Maybe that's a strong way of putting it, but there's parts of me, even now after seeing it like 5 times, I'm like, son of a bitch. And it doesn't ruin the movie for me. Okay, I'll say that much. It's still good, and I can admit it's more of a me thing and more of probably like a lot of people's thing if they've watched it, because it's just ingrained in their head so much, how he looks and the scenery and kind of what he does. But there is a part of me that's just like, when I'm watching it, sometimes I forget I'm not just watching like a new age, like Sylvester Stallone revenge flick. Like sometimes I feel like that, and it isn't fair, but it's just we've had this character for so long, and it just the look and the feel is just a tad bit different. But at the same time, there's moments where they had the flashbacks, and it's just enough for me to be like, okay, I can accept this, and it deserves to be accepted. It's a me thing. It's more of a me thing. I don't know if you have any problems with that, or you can see where I'm coming from with that. But yeah.
No, not really.
Nothing? Okay. I like his little underground lair, his tunnels.
That is the most intriguing part of the movie for me.
Like, I love weird shit like that, dude. Me and Remy, when we'd hang out, like if we like have an attic right there, we'd be like, "That's a portal, bro. We got to go up in there." That's what we call it. I'm all about that, just searching like, oh my God, nobody goes in here. Let me see what's in here.
Well, he's had plenty of time to like build it up too. Mm-hmm. So he's had what, like 10, 11 years now?
Yeah.
If we're going by release dates.
08 to 019.
Yeah. 019. Yeah.
And I could tell from the jump, dude, this tunnel, I was like, this is going to
come. This is going to be the end.
Play. It's going to come into play for sure.
I knew it was going to be the finale at the tunnel.
And I was going to ask you if you watched the extended edition.
I have.
And let me just say, I already know the answer to that. You did. So that question doesn't really merit anymore. And I think, from what I've heard, that the extended edition is more, I don't know if you've seen the regular edition enough to tell the difference to where, sometimes it all kind of blends together. But I've heard the extended edition is more backstory on how he ended up with Gabrielle and the mother or whatever she is. And I feel like that would greatly enhance the movie to me. And maybe they cut it because they're like, let's just have an action-packed movie. But I feel like I was kind of craving more of how this relationship came to be. And I think that might be a lot of what the extended edition is, from what I hear.
It's longer, definitely in the beginning.
I was about to say,
the opening scene.
It's called the extended edition. I know it's longer, Rodney.
You can't even front, though. There are movies out there that are like, no, they literally had the same like 91 minutes in the extended cut. 91 minutes. Really, they added like 30 seconds of footage into it.
Yeah, you're like, what?
It's so stupid.
Yeah, the unrated cut is shorter. You're like, what does this
I've
even
seen
mean?
those too.
It's weird shit. But when you hear extended, it's like that just in the title. But I know what you're talking about.
But yeah, it's. I mean, I saw this when it came out in theaters once, and then I saw when it dropped on DVD, I saw it once, the regular, and then I found out about the extended cut.
Yeah.
And I think I've seen it. I think I've seen both versions twice.
Yeah, I've heard the extended cut's way better. I still have yet to see it, which I'm pissed they didn't add that in to last.
Yeah, that doesn't make much. Well, did it?
They just don't do shit with 4K. So like, this looks better, but you get nothing else.
I don't think the extended cut came out with the DVD release.
No, it came out on like streaming. It was like a exclusive.
That might be what it is.
There was an exclusive for a certain streaming site. I don't know which
Prime.
one. Yeah, I think that's what it is. Yeah, it is Prime. I'm almost 100% positive. It's like, get Prime and get the exclusive extended cut, which was another reason why I was thinking about getting that 4K Steelbook collection because I was like, maybe if that has the extended cut,
Does it?
I can just make it up in my mind. Where like, that's enough. I'm gonna get that, even if it truly ain't. And I'm like, damn, I just spent like
when the
80 bucks on
8K
this.
box set comes out in 5 years. Yeah.
I'll buy it. Maybe not though, because I don't really upgrade a lot of my Blu-rays to 4Ks. It's if like I love a DVD that I have, I'm like that's like hurdling over one and then going to the next. Yeah, so extended edition. What I hear is good. You make it sound like it's good too, and I need to check it out. I still need to see it.
So then you get introduced to Gabriella.
Mm-hmm. Now, her going to see her dad.
So stupid.
It is, but I mean, I can get it. My dad ditched me at a young age. Now, granted, I've never felt the need to go see him, but I guess I can. If anything, you might be like, well, if you don't have a dad, then maybe you would understand why it is so stupid because you've been through it and you don't want to go see him.
I have no intentions or want to meet mine. So.
Exactly. You've been through some shit too. I'm the same way, but I feel like I can see how somebody that's a little more emotionally driven, having that absence or whatever. We also, and she did too. She basically had a dad for all intents and purposes. Your dad was awesome. My dad's awesome. So that kind of filled the void. Now, that's not a great explanation because she basically has a dad and he's amazing. But at the same time, I could see how certain people were all made up differently.
They just have to know.
Yeah, they gotta know it's gonna eat at them. I don't need that type of security. No. It's whatever.
I'm good.
Could give a fuck less. I could see how she would do that. But did you know from the jump that it would just go horribly wrong?
Yes.
I was like, well, we're gonna see how this is probably where the plot of the movie starts.
Now, where we get to the point when we get to talking about the drive home, I didn't expect that.
Yeah.
But I did expect everything that follows when she goes to Mexico.
Yeah.
So
Giselle, bruh.
Giselle, not Gabrielle. Or no.
Yeah,
no, it is Gabrielle.
No, it is Gabrielle.
Okay.
Giselle's the girl she meets up with.
The thug, nasty.
With the immediate bad vibes. That's like the definition of like if that ends up being, since I'm married to a Mexican woman, my daughter, if she ends up having one of her Mexican cousins or something being hood rat like that, the first thing she says to her, like, you been laid yet? Are you still a virgin? Like,
yeah.
Aria, you're not going over there anymore. like this is like a dad's worst nightmare. Like, do not hang out with this bitch. She is fucking crazy, dude. I mean, immediate bad vibes, dude.
Yeah, I didn't like her at all at first.
I can't remember what we talked about. But in like the first one, I thought about bringing it up, and I was like, this will kind of carry over to the fifth one, but I let it go because I was like, I'll remember in the moment, but of course right now it's the moment and I'm not remembering it. There was something, it might have been about Dennehy's character. I'm trying to remember exactly how to put this, where there's something about the first one that wasn't expected and then ended up going a route. Either way, whatever. In this one, the dad, like, it went south so fast when she met up with the dad.
Did not expect that, actually. I forgot about that part, yeah.
Yeah, because the dad at first was so
sweet.
So
like concerning about it.
It came out of nowhere when he became an asshole. He was like, I didn't expect this. And he's just like, oh, wow, you've grown. Like, you look beautiful.
Yeah, so you're just like, oh.
Wow, this is actually going okay. I know where he's like, I didn't want your mother. I didn't want you. She died and left me with you. I want nothing to do. I was like, it was such like out of left field. It's like, part of me is like, this doesn't even make sense.
Well, I think
with
his
how the conversation
wife or whatever popped up.
Yeah, well, that's what I was gonna say. It doesn't make sense with how the conversation was going. Maybe it was a wife thing, or maybe he was like trying to be civil and realized that, okay, this ain't going anywhere. Let me keep it real. You really want to know? Fine, fuck it. I'm gonna end this. Why am I putting on this facade anyways?
Or
what's she gonna do?
Something I just thought about. Maybe he was doing it to protect her in a way, send her back home. Like, oh, so I don't.
I see.
He doesn't want nothing to do with me, therefore I should never come back down here again where it's dangerous.
See, that's actually something I thought of while I was watching the movie. This is the first time I've thought of that, so that's a good point. But also, Rambo, John came up in that bitch and was talking shit to him. I feel like if he did that in that way, he would have been like, look, John, I'm being real with you here. She came here, and I did put her down, but that's because I knew how troublesome it was here.
He couldn't have because he got manhandled by Rambo.
Yeah, no, but I mean, anybody get manhandled. Like, look, John, look, I'll talk. Like, this is how it is. I think if that was a point they were trying to make, he would have explained it right there to cover his ass to finally get some cool points from
because Rambo said I should have killed you or whatever back. So he's always been a piece of shit. Then
he's always been a piece of shit, and that's the point why I think he would make that point, because he would be like, look, she was here. Let me help you out because I'm not a piece of shit now. All I know is this. I'm going to be honest with you. I did tell her to go away, but it was only in her best interest. I know I fucked up in the past because I thought the same thing, and I was like, once this scene happened, I was like, there's no way this douchey dude would have just kept it quiet. He'd have been like, that was my chance to at least show that I have some type of heart. Like, he would have been all over that, I think, dude. Yeah, I don't know. That's just my opinion. I like how there's no lollygagging around in this movie. Like, Gabrielle gets captured, and John is, like, already en route. I mean, like, it seems like as she's getting captured, he's like, where's she at? Cut to him driving. It's like, what the fuck? Like, he's already, like, in it, dude. And I love how he shows Giselle, like, no fucking mercy.
Oh, none whatsoever.
No, dude. He's like,
he treats her just like a
villain.
Yeah.
She should have known right there. Like, you can tell he's fully prepared to fuck her up, dude, if need be. Like, I'm not playing games here, Giselle. Like, where the fuck is she? If you
He's just been keeping a lid on it.
Yeah, you're done, dude. And he's just, I mean, I love how they carried it over from the fourth one. He is fucking people up. He's looking for answers. That dude, he took his collarbone. Oh, my God.
That is my favorite. No, I was about to say kill in the movie. That was my favorite. I'm just going to say kill because you might as well have just killed the guy.
Yeah.
But, dude, that collarbone.
That is one of the coolest things I've seen.
God.
Like, he's just ripping at.
But that's not the thing is he Rambo breaks the collarbone first so he can get it pulled out. So it's not like he just threw his hand in there and ripped it out. Like, he took I'm pretty sure it was the butt end of the knife, smashed him in his collarbone, and then goes in for the peel. So he broke it then just to rip the bone out. And I'm just like, oh my God, this is awesome.
Nah, dude, that's fucking epic, dude.
It was so awesome.
Yeah.
And then Rambo gets his ass beat.
Oh my God. And I gotta tell you, when he goes up there with the Mexicans, it's kind of wild seeing Rambo get fucked up like that. Like, even though he's old, so you know he's a little more vulnerable, he seems so invincible. Like, we'd never seen anything like that before.
Yeah.
Like, every single time, like, he better be tied down, and even then he don't look fucked up. Like he got fucked up. And it's just hard and weird seeing him in that state, dude. He's like, just let her go.
It's like a grounded, realistic take, I guess, on Rambo.
Yeah, it makes complete sense, even in this universe, because, like, I mean, he's not going to be 90. They're not going to do that, him doing it. Well, maybe they will. Shit.
It's okay, though. Rambo heals in one day.
That's the truth, dude. You know that much, dude.
I swear.
Oh, my God. And much like what I said about the fourth one, this one puts a little more work in, I think, of making you hate the overall villains.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very good in that regard.
Which one do you hate more?
Who, the villains-wise?
Mm-hmm.
That's a tough one. I don't know. I feel like the fourth one might have even been more brutal.
No. I mean, in Last Blood.
Oh, between the two brothers or whatever.
One doesn't make it very long, but he's still I think they were both pretty good villains.
Yeah.
But I'd have to say, in my opinion, I like the one that got chopped.
The head off?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I like him more,
better.
too. Like, the first time I watched it, for whatever reason, the guy got his head chopped off. I got it, like, mixed up backwards. I don't know if I was paying close enough attention as I should have been. But he almost, like, looked like him when he put his hair up at the end.
Oh, yeah.
So I was like, oh, so he made it.
Oh,
and I was like, I'm looking at the wrong
he did
one.
not make it.
Yeah, dude.
But, yeah, then you see, backtrack a little bit from that part. You see where Gabrielle is being held down in the dungeon pretty much. And, they're basically doping him up. They treat him like shit and fucking beat him and push him to the floor and everything and all that nonsense. But all while Rambo is knocked out, by the way, and beat to a pulp.
Jesus.
We see all this stuff with Gabriella. And but then, about 10 hours later, after getting beat up, Rambo's fine. And he's ready to
It's hammer time.
continue on his mission. Yeah.
That was fucking sick. Hey,
Dude.
went up in there and was
Oh my
fucking
God.
busting people up with that hammer, dude.
I feel like that's the
Jesus.
way that Taken should have been, dude. The way they handled it in this.
Fuck some Taken. This is it right here.
Oh, this is it. Yeah. He fucks
Beating
everybody
the
up in there.
Fuck out of everybody, dude.
And then finds old Gabriella.
Dude,
just
poor her,
doped
dude.
up so bad.
I thought it was gonna be some Taken type shit right here. I thought it was gonna be a different girl.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like when he was like moving her hair back slowly, I was like, fuck, he's gonna find a different girl and he's gonna be like, shit, he's gonna be compassionate, but he's gonna be like, fuck, that's not her. Sure enough, I was like, oh, it fucking is her. So maybe there is a happy ending here. But I didn't realize the non-happy ending was coming like not too far later.
What surprises me about that non-happy ending for Gabriella is not the fact that she died, I guess. It's the fact on where she died, because they're in the truck making it back, and she's so much dope is in her system right now. She can't hold her eyes open. He keeps telling her to keep her eyes open, but I thought she was gonna at least make it home. I figured she would make it home, and then like I don't know,
trying to surprise you even more by doing that.
But then she just dies in the truck.
Yeah.
And
he's like, you're a great girl.
Yeah.
And he's like, Gabrielle. Oh, shit. Not really, but yeah. Damn,
right, that was pretty sad.
And you knew they fucked all the way up. And this,
yeah.
again, goes to the part of why I feel like I need to see the extended cut, because I think I'd care more about the situation. Because even though, like, it works in the regular cut, excuse me, works in the regular cut, but there's an element to me that's like mad that I don't care more about it. Like Stallone, low key, has a lot of movies. Like I don't tear up too often, maybe more than I should, but not too often where it's ridiculous. Like, are you crying right now? I'm not necessarily that guy, but Stallone maybe has more movies that make me cry or almost cry than any movie, because like almost every Rocky has a scene in it where I'm just so in love with like the character, where I'm like, good God. Like, there's moments where I at least feel very sad. The first Rambo, that gets me in my emotions. So when I see this, where, like, Stallone, especially when he's older, he's just got this natural, like, I feel so bad for him, like, quality. When this happens, I'm like, that's sad. But when I'm watching it on at least the regular version, I'm assuming the extended cut helps, like, maybe flesh out their relationship a little more. I feel kind of robbed when I'm watching it, because I'm like, that's sad. But I don't want to be like, damn, that's sad. I want to be like, oh, dude, oh, no. And I don't feel that enough. And I feel like I'm shortchanged to that when I watch it. So that kind of bothers me. But, you know, still an effective scene for what it is. But we're talking about Stallone here. He low-key has some, like, get you in your tears.
He's got some acting chops.
He's got some acting chops and get you in your tears type of movies, dude. And you knew they fucked all the way up. As soon as that happened, you were like, good luck, motherfuckers. You're done, dude. And he's getting his Home Alone on, bro. He's setting traps left and right after that. Of course, he breaks the news to old girl. That was rough. But he's like, I'm setting this shit up right here, right now, player. And that was just...
Sends her on her way.
Dude. Yeah, that too.
And it's like... So I guess about a week maybe had passed, I guess, because giving him all that time to do all that shit, and then old buddy in Mexico, because he left somebody alive to tell the cartel that he was, you know, who he was and yada whatever. But yeah, so then they basically do their suit up scene for the cartel, which is nothing compared to Stallone suit up scene.
Yeah, fuck them.
So,
fuck them bitches.
Dude, the thing about it too is you see him rigging up all this stuff in these tunnels, and you're like, shit's gonna go down. But it isn't until the shit goes down where you're like, oh my God, this man is a G for real. Like the shit that the traps that he'd come up with, the timing with the bomb for the car and the fire going across and all that. It's like why would you even continue on to fight him? It don't make
You
no.
wouldn't. I was gonna talk about dude getting his head chopped off. A little
Oh
more.
yeah.
Like talk about knowing how to send a message, dude.
Oh, that's it.
Like,
Yeah.
not only chopped his head off, pinned the fucking picture into his chest with the knife, and then he dropped his head off down the road. It almost looked like he held onto his head for a few miles and then dropped his head off down the road. It's like, what in the fuck?
Yeah, he didn't care.
Yeah, and like you were saying, dude, the ending showdown was just glorious, dude. Like, the way the heads looked exploding with, like, the up-close and personal shotguns. He's got like that spike he sends to the wall through dude's head.
Oh
And
man.
then, then he falls down where there's like that little hole and chops dude's leg off and then fucking stabs up to the neck.
Dude.
Like all that shit. Like, and then he had the music playing too. He hit on the radio. I thought that was a fucking dope touch.
Yeah, he. What was the song?
I don't know. It was great though. Like the whole thing was just expertly done. It was so amazing the way they pulled that
Yeah,
off.
he just one by one, just taking them all out, and I mean
Just
in
fucking-
some brutal ways. Yeah,
Tossing knives and shit at them.
it's
Blowing their heads off, arrow. People were falling through shit into spikes.
one guy was looking through that hole and he had that rebar and he just shoved that right through. Oh my god! He fucked some people up in this movie.
Yeah, and I love how the last dude's like, I could have killed you like 4 times.
Yeah.
I kept you alive. Like, if you want to live, follow the lights. And he spread out like boom, 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 boom.
Which he
And-
got hit. Rambo got hit
Yeah, he
again, by
did
the way.
get hit.
I think twice, wasn't
Yeah.
it? Once in the stomach and once in the. I'm pretty
think
sure same
so.
spot in the shoulder.
And I like it when he gets shot a couple times, even if it almost don't make sense.
Oh, that's fine
If he
with me,
gets
yeah.
shot like a couple times each movie, you're like, is he not dead? Man, 50 Cent survived 9 shots in one
To
sitting.
the face.
And this is Rambo we're talking about.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it just, yeah, like it almost makes him feel a little more real. I kind of like he gets popped a couple times there.
Yeah.
And then he tells old dude, I kept you alive, like, I'm going to rip your heart out.
And show it to you.
Yeah,
Then the barn.
I kind of thought, that that was more of like a figure of speech initially. Like, and he's like, I'm going to rip your heart out. Like, that's legitimately how I felt about it. And you know what? I do like how it ended up in the barn, and he took his time. He kind of pinned him against there.
Yep. With them
And,
arrows,
yeah.
probably with like a 200-pound pullback on that bow.
Exactly. And what does he do, Rodney?
Oh, nails them up like a cross, like a stigmata.
Yeah.
Just shoulder, what was it? Shoulder, thigh. And then that was it. You ain't moving from that because the arrows are like 3 feet out of the back of the barn. So
Jesus.
he's not moving, and he's trying.
Yeah.
He's pissed. He's trying that. He knows what's about to happen.
And then he
Takes that big old fucking
gashes
knife,
all the
dude.
way down.
And the sound.
Rips, holds it. Should put in like a little doggy bag and like Dumb and Dumber.
Oh my god.
I was like, oh, he literally meant he was gonna rip his heart out. It even tells like, this is what it feels like. John, that dude's like, ah.
Oh, the screams he was. Man.
my
But see, the
God.
thing is he did it just in time too, to where he had just enough time to where dude saw his own heart and like immediately died. Like basically, as he was looking at his own heart, he died, and it's like satisfying enough for
Yeah.
Rambo. He's like, I did
I
what I
dig
needed
it.
to do.
And that music, after he does that, kicks on again,
Oh,
and it's
yeah.
beautiful again.
Yeah.
And it's a serviceable enough ending to the franchise. If it is truly
Kicking
Last
back
Blood,
on the rocking chair, dude. You never know.
there's part of me that's like, yeah, I kind of dig like knowing that he's living out his life at the end of 4, but at the same time, this works too. I'm not against it. And he's like giving his last little speech. I can't remember any of the words in it right now, but it was pretty solid. Like, it wasn't great enough to remember, but it was like, okay, nice with the music. And that music carries over into the end credits, and I'm a sucker for that shit. Even though they do that shit, it's like, let's just edit a video up to where we do like a rehash of all the best scenes from the originals, where they like, here's the first, here's the second, here's the third, and here's the like. It no matter how shitty the movie is, they like to do that at the end of the end credits. They're like, here's everything we've been through. And there's a lot of movies that are shit that fail, and you see that, and you're kind of like, oh, this is almost cheap. But this movie worked. and that end credits, because it worked, hit me like a ton of bricks. So I was like, watching him age each way through each movie, I was like, damn.
I think
They had the music.
the hardest age was from 3 to 4 is where it's like, oh, you definitely aged.
Oh yeah, he's shooting that fish. God. But that's the Rambo movies, guys.
That's all the Rambo movies.
All right, turn it off. I'm just playing. We got rankings and ratings, sir.
Yep.
Do we?
We sure do.
Why don't you rank and rate, bro? Are you ready for that?
We'll rank first and then rate.
Last to first. Are you ready for this action?
Last to first. All right.
It's a tough one, ain't it?
My number 5 will be Rambo First Blood Part 3.
I thought so. After you said it was like, it's good, but it's not great. I was like, he just revealed that's the worst one.
So, Rambo First Blood Part 3. It's not a bad movie by any means, and it's a good movie. It just doesn't hold up the way the other 4 do, in my opinion. I give it a 6.5 on the Part 3. You want to do back and forth, or you want to?
Why not? Fuck it. My number 5 is going to have to be Last Blood.
Oof.
Yeah, Last Blood is my least favorite.
You need to get on that extended cut.
I do, but even then, I don't know if it'll pass the other ones. I love the other ones quite a bit. I think this has potential to move up, a couple points maybe, and I think it still will probably be my last. But it's a solid movie. I just would like to bring this over into the love category. It's a high like for me. Love for me is an 8. This is a 7.8. I have a ton of fun with it. The fucking ending is glorious. It kind of makes up for a lot. Whereas I did kind of have it at a 7.5, but I think that is kind of went away a little bit because there was so much of like, it's so hard at times for me to feel like this is a Rambo movie. And I've gotten over that with subsequent watches. Like, this is just where he is now, Brandon. This is just where he is now, Brandon. Whereas I said, like, I can't be like, this is a Rambo movie. This is a Rambo movie. It just kind of subconsciously flows. Whereas I've seen it like 5 times now. Subconsciously, I'm watching it as a Rambo movie. And it's fared better for that reason. So now it's not really a 7.5. It's a 7.8. And I think if that extended cut is as good as people are saying, I think it could definitely move to at least, at most, like, I don't think it could move too much, but I think it could hit at an 8.0. I think it's got potential for that if they do that backstory, because I love the action so much once it finally gets going, but I want to appreciate the emotion that much. And I think that could raise it to an 8 if that extended cut really hits it. So I think I could potentially, spoiler alert, love all the Rambo movies if that happens, but I at least highly enjoyed this one. It's a good flick, very good, especially for his age. Stallone just does not disappoint with these later films.
No.
You're like, he's old, and it's like, now you're like, he's gonna kill it.
Yeah.
I know he's 87. He's got it.
He's up there.
I think he's like 74 right now.
Yeah, he's
Crazy, 75 maybe now.
So my number 4 is gonna come in the form of Rambo Last Blood.
Okay.
Now, I talk this one up a lot. I love Rambo Last Blood. I do.
Good shit.
It's just there's 3 others that I just think trump it, overall. So Last Blood for me, I'm happy to give it a 7.5. Anywhere from 7.5, 7.8, somewhere in there. Just
So
depends on
about
my
where I
mood,
am.
really. Yeah, it's a mood thing for me.
So what'd you give the third one? I don't think you gave it a rating.
6.5.
Did you?
Mhm.
Okay, I might have not heard it or you.
Yeah,
didn't say it.
my 5th one was Part 3, and I gave it a
Part 3 is
6.5,
This is
which is still a fair rating.
yeah, solid movie. It's a good
So-
one. All right, so you're about where I am on Last Blood. My number 4 is the third one, and this is one that has grown on me over the years. I've appreciated more now, and it was kind of hard with the change of scenery at first when I was younger, but like I said, now it feels like that perfect middle chapter where it's just like it gives you kind of a bit of something else. It kind of gives you that all-out, just fucking shenanigans, crazy action movie a little bit more. I really enjoy seeing Troutman work with Rambo on the battlefield. And it's a great movie to me. Is it a great movie? I mean, I honestly, if I had to say, there's probably one great movie, maybe two out of all these movies, technically. But if we're talking great, all-out, balls-to-the-wall action movie, Rambo 3 definitely belongs in that category. I give it an 8.2 out of 10. Great action flick at my number 4, Rambo 3.
Yeah, this is where it gets tough.
It's starting to get a little tough.
Top
for
3
you.
for me.
Yeah.
My number 3, it'll have to go to part 2.
Really?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's always in between part 2 and my number 2. So
Yeah, I have that problem too, actually.
and I love part 2 is I love part 2. It's like we were talking about, a little bit more hectic than the first one, but it still had the heart and the emotions that were a part of the first film that made it what it was, in my opinion. So, and then it had its moments. The reason, well, I can't say it without spoiling, but yeah, I give part 2 an 8.0 for sure.
8.0, nice. Yeah. Moving into great territory. My number 3, I really juggle around my 2, 3, and 4 quite a bit. They're like right deadlocked, and you'll see in the scores. I gotta go Rambo, the 4th one, as my number 3, and that's also an 8.2. And man, it's just dope. It's kind of like a return to the character of the first one. Like when I watch 2 and 3, there's elements of it in 2. There's even elements of it in 3. But I think about them more as like over-the-top action movies first, character second. Whereas the 4th one, Rambo, I feel like I'm watching kind of the character in a way in an old age, like the first one, but he's just older, and then the over-the-top second, if that makes sense. I don't know. There's like a little bit more of that first character. Like if you watch the first one and went to the 4th one, it might even flow better than going 2, 3, 4. There's something to that movie that I didn't really enjoy initially because I was like, we ended it, nerd 20 years later, being dumb and stupid. And I was judging it too hard when it first came out. And Rambo 4, man, it's just damn good. It's a great action movie, and it's got some good substance, maybe a little more message than 2 and 3, maybe. And is maybe even a little more in tune with that character. I don't know. It's tough, but I got to go that one as well at 8.2, but a nudge higher than 3, and not by much. My middle movies are not far apart at all.
Yeah, my number 2 is it's going to go to Rambo, which would be part 4.
Sure.
Yeah, I was kind of the same with you. I didn't really mess with it or like the fact, the aging with the hair kind of threw me off.
Yeah.
But that's such a minor thing. But yeah, I've grown to really love Rambo like a lot, and it's just it's the over the top.
Yeah,
that Rambo is, that makes it, and then the silence all the way through the movie until he's like, "Look, I'm just a badass. You're just gonna have to take me at my word
deal
for it."
with it.
Yeah, but and the reason I think 4 takes over 2 for the number 2 spot is because they have that scene in 2 and 4 that are damn near identical, almost, where in the village, where he's taking on the village and he's got the helping hands from whatever. But I think Rambo played it better than 2, and it's badass in both movies. But I just think Rambo had the slight edge. Yeah, I think
I think it's throat rip. I remember that. It just stands out.
Yeah, it's that, and then really it's the throat rip because that was so. He held him up by his throat as he ripped it. It was just
Blood
so crazy.
Was just slowly coming out.
So yeah, I put Rambo as my number 2, and I give it an 8. I give it an 8.5, 8.3, 8.5.
Yeah, somewhere in there. All right, at number 2, I got to do the same rating again, and that is First Blood Part 2. Also an 8.2. fucking 2, 3, and 4, dude. I mean, you asked me on the day, like they are like dead even. But like 2 and 3 are dead even for like the same reasons, whereas 4 is dead even for a different reason. It's a different vibe. It's all the way in the future. Like I said, I feel a little more in tune with the PTSD Rambo that's content. I think they focus on that a little bit more, the quieter side of them. It's not as in your face, even though it does have in your face moments. And it kind of, you know, the way it ends with him being back on the farm, it just feels like they kind of touch base, and not that they don't in 2 and 3, but they touch base with that more humanity side of them. And it's, you know, it's you. I think him being older actually helps that in a way too. So when I'm ranking these and they're so dead even at 8.2, I feel like I always have to put, since they're gridlocked at 8.2 between the three of them, I have to put, I'm torn on this every time, so I don't feel like it's necessarily right, but I have to put the fourth one in the middle because it doesn't feel right putting 8.2, 3, and 2 next to each other because they're like the same movie, where the fourth one is different. Like I feel like since they're basically gridlocked, I have to put the movie that's the same movie on the outside, and then the movie that's the same movie on the inside, that being 2 and 3, and then I have to have in the middle this one because it's different. It just feels right doing it that way, but honestly, this is one of those things where 2, 3, and 4, like they can fucking swap any given day. I love all three of these movies, and they are just fucking, they're as locked as like a ranking can get. It's a tough one. What's your number one? I think we already know, though.
My number one is Part 1.
Rambo.
First Blood. Fantastic movie. The emotions, the action at the end of it. The villain, he was such a dickhead, it pissed me off, which is, that's a good villain if they can bring out real emotions out of you. Yeah, 9.0 for me.
9.0. Loving the score, dude. Rambo for me is also my number one, if you haven't been able to tell. First Blood, I should say. And, to start the movie magic, the fact that this franchise became so dope and people forget, like, the core of what this shit was about. The fact it feels, like, so violent in scenes, but he only killed one fucking person, really. Maybe two. The fact that, like, Stallone just has that, like, look, motherfuckers, I can act ability in this movie, maybe more than any of his other movies. Some of the Rocky movies might have something to say about that, but the movie in general is a great action movie. It's a great movie that transcends time. Like, it's still really good to this day. Solid villain/villains. And I kind of like him in this aspect where he almost does feel human. He's taking on everybody, but it's a little more grounded, man. Like, I like the grounded feel to this character and his base roots, dude. He just was so legit in this mode. And we never really got this kind of Rambo again. And I get why we didn't, but that's what makes this one stand out and be a little more special than the other ones. And that scene at the end is one of my favorite scenes in any movie. Like, I'm not shooting you when I said, like, it could be in, like, a top 10 scene. Because every time I watch it, he gets me so in my emotions. The acting in that, it's the fucking perfect ending. Rambo is an all-timer to me. The first one, I should say. First Blood, not Rambo. The fucking movie titles on this shit is so fucking confusing. Yeah. That's one thing they fucked up with. But yeah, Rambo gets a 9.6 out of 10 for me. It's
9.6?
Almost a flawless film to me.
Oh, yeah.
Almost.
Well, there you have it.
There you have it. And guys, since Tyler isn't here, you want to tag? Okay, Tyler. You can follow us on Spotify, at Podbean, at the official Box Office Banter. If that's where you like getting your banter, specifically ours, fucking do that shit, please. You can follow us on YouTube. I think we're just Box Office Banter, no official in front of that. We're getting the subscribers rolling now. Yeah, only 50, not too much, but we're trying to build something there. We're more prevalent on Facebook, but let's get that YouTube rolling, guys. On Facebook, you can find us on the Project Louder page where we post all of these videos initially. They're on YouTube too, but they're also on that Project Louder page. Join Box Office Banter Movies. Used to be Movies with 2 O's, but we changed it just to Movies to not be complicated for you motherfuckers. We got over 1,000 members. I think we might have 1.1K members now. My phone's terrible. I'm trying to build that. Please join that. You can dictate what we do at times. I mean, come on. You don't want that action? And then official Box Office Banter again on Instagram. Tons of fun, guys. Just fucking follow us. Please be followers. Join the fucking banter cult, if you will. That BC, and we ain't talking before Christ. Do that shit. Anyways, guys, we love ya. Tyler will be back in a few weeks. Josh should be back next week. Enjoy. Peace. Love and tranquility.